Welcome back to the Retro Wave. I am your host, El Tiburon, and today we're talking disappointing video games. But first, let me introduce my guest, the Physical Media Mac, the PMM, the guy that could probably open up his own Blockbuster or at least a mom and pop shop rental store. PMM.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
What's going on?
Half man, half machine, a tough street fighter. The PMM, the Physical Media Mac, is back on the podcast.
and of course, returning back, the real Native American, the real Tatanka, Tylord Stevenson, the undefeated Tylord.
He likes red meat.
That's all I was waiting for. Yeah, guys. So we're gonna be talking disappointing video games, kind of a little impromptu episode. I think I just asked you guys like a day or two ago. So
yeah, it took me the last minute to come up with my three.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted to do this one, because this episode, even though we're recording it way before Christmas, I'm gonna drop it like in December. So, when I think of December, Christmas, I think of, the awesome gifts you got as a kid. Maybe some of us were lucky enough to get a Super Nintendo or the NES, right? But
right, yeah, those are good times.
I think of Toys R Us and those rows and rows of NES boxes.
Oh man, that was like paradise on earth right there.
Yeah, we all have, I think, fond memories of something cool we got as a kid, but sometimes you just get a turd under your Christmas tree. Something that maybe let you down, that didn't live up to the expectations, or maybe you got a Tiger Electronic Street Fighter 2 instead of the actual Super Nintendo Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, yeah.
So sometimes it's not a turd. It's some people love it, and it's just not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
That's a good point, because I mean, these games aren't necessarily games that we got during Christmas. It could be games we bought with our own money, games that we did get as a kid. Right. But maybe it just, like you said, wasn't our cup of tea. Maybe it was just straight shit. Or maybe we didn't get that game at the right time in our life.
Yeah, and that hit hard back.
Or maybe we Go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say that hit hard back then when we didn't get that many games every year. We had to save up money or maybe get one at Christmas, once at our birthday. And if it turned out to be a stinker, it was a real letdown.
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe even we liked the game a lot, but the game before it was so freaking good,
right?
That there was a letdown by it. You know?
Yeah.
It's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, I've heard people say when you're a kid, you have all the time to play video games, but no money. And then when you're an adult with a job, you have the money, but maybe you don't have the same time anymore.
Yeah. You had time to appreciate that turd game because it was the only one you had.
Yeah. Well, what was nice when I was growing up is I had a lot of family that lived out of state, and they would send just money gifts.
Oh, heck yeah.
So Christmas and birthday, I would get checks in the mail from different people.
Yeah.
And all that would go to video games.
That's the best gift. Money's the best gift.
Oh, heck yeah.
I remember one time I got a sweater, one of those wool sweaters with a embroidered dog on it for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So cute.
Kind of like the alligators, the embroidered alligators. And
yeah. So not as good as
flamingos.
A cash. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna I told you guys, just pick your top 3 disappointing video games for whatever reason they disappointed you. And usually I ask you guys for your list, but this time I said, no, don't give me the list. We'll just do it in vivo. We'll do it live. We're doing it live.
Well, last video Billy Bob sent us off.
Yeah.
I was so hoping for
Do it
some
live.
kind of cool
I can
video
write
game
it
guy.
And we'll do it live.
We got
Fucking thing sucks.
this guy right here.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live.
I'm trying to remember
Do
his
it
name.
live.
Is that
I
Bill?
can write it and we'll do it live.
Is it Bill Bradley? No.
Fucking thing
Bill
sucks.
O'Reilly. Was
Bill
it?
O'Reilly.
Was it
Right.
Bradley, that center for the New York Knicks from back in the day? Bill Bradley. He was like a governor.
Bill Bradley? No, I think you're thinking of Bill. I don't know. Bill Paxton. I don't know.
Bill
Bill
Pullman.
Pullman.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm thinking you're thinking of the guy that smokes weed. The guy who used to play for the Celtics. He's got a son that coaches for the Lakers. That was the coach of the Lakers for a while.
Danny
You know what I'm
Ainge?
talking about?
Oh,
No, the
Bill
tall
Walton.
guy that-
Bill Walton.
Yeah, Bill Walton. Yeah, Bill Walton.
Oh,
All right, so we're gonna get right into it, but as always, take a little quick commercial break.
He's got big ears. He's got big feet. And he's got a big mouth. Bubsy, now available on Sega Mega Drive. What could possibly go wrong? Ouch.
Imagine getting Bubsy as a gift.
yeah, I was lucky enough not to get that one.
What is Bubsy? Is that like a toy or the video game?
It's a video game. Can you explain Bubsy,
What?
Tylord?
I don't know. The Nintendo and Sega one looked pretty good, like a rip off Sonic the Hedgehog type game, right?
What was that on? Super Nintendo?
Yeah, Super Nintendo
Sega
and Genesis.
Genesis?
And then there was one on
Okay.
PlayStation. There was
Yeah,
another
that's-
one on PlayStation 1, and it looked like trash, like when 3D polygons first became a big thing.
Yeah, that's the one I got. I got that one. I got the
okay,
one on
yeah.
the PS1. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm glad I only had the demo of that because that would have been a big disappointment right there.
yeah, imagine saying, "Hey, mom,
like a
get me the new Sonic or the new Mario," and she gets you Bubsy.
Yeah.
'Cause-
It's like a terrible 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Hard to jump from one platform to the other. It's one of those aggravating games.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do? Disappointing video games, top 3. We're gonna go from 3 to 1, and I'll let you guys. Who do you guys want? Who wants to go first? Who wants to volunteer?
Jesus, I don't even have mine in order.
I'll go. I
Just
guess
pick
I'll
your-
go.
Yeah, you can go.
What you got? Number 3.
Go ahead.
And I'm thinking you guys might have this one. It's a pretty typical one. I chose for disappointing game number 3 on my list, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES by Ultra Games.
Okay.
The first one.
The part 1, yeah, from 1989, which isn't a bad game at all by any means. But why it was so disappointing to me was when we were kids, we would go to this place called Tilts at the mall. It was a big fancy arcade. It seemed like it was the length of a football field, just lined up with games on every side. In the center of the thing, there was the 4-player Ninja Turtles arcade machine. Everyone was flocked around that. It was, and all the kids were into Ninja Turtles back then. The cartoon was so big that like the hottest thing since He-Man. Everyone would play that game 4-player co-op, and it looked so cool. That game was a beat 'em up, nice looking game. It looked like the cartoon. It sounded like the cartoon. It was the coolest thing ever. And I remember telling my mom, "Hey, I think this is out on Nintendo. That's what I want for Christmas. This game. I know there's a Nintendo game. Back when you're a kid, you think they're all. If there's a Ninja Turtles game, it's the same everywhere." So I got it for Christmas, and it turned out to be totally different. I was pretty disappointed with it.
So you thought it was going to be the arcade game?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the arcade game. Like, I think I even saw the package at the store, and it kind of looked different. I go, it doesn't look like that, but maybe they just got weird screenshots like later on I didn't know about or whatever. That's how foolish I was. But and I was just hyping myself up like, oh, it's going to be the same game, but then it wasn't. but then it was like you say, is you only get so many games a year, so you learn to love these games and spend a lot of time on them. So after you figure out it was a pretty intricate and impressive game on its own, but just comparing it to the arcade cabinet, which was like the dream Ninja Turtles game, that stupid NES Ultra Games cartridge was a big disappointment. But I think it's aged pretty good considering that.
You ever play that one? Tightweight?
I played
not Tightweight, PMM, sorry.
Oh, yeah. It was like my brother, he's not here. He came over last night, but he's not here right now. Yeah, I'm sure I did, because I remember the cover of the cart. I remember the cover art on it, and I remember the Ultra Games in the left bottom corner, bottom corner. And but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that was never like a thing for me. Like, I was never into it. Like the games, I was never into the movies. It missed me. It was, maybe I'm a few years older than you guys. I was never a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guy. Yeah. So I don't remember the game, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I remember playing
Turtles beating up. It was like a beat 'em up game, right?
Yeah. It was like a 4-player, like Double Dragon type thing.
But you could be like different. You could be the turtle. You can switch, right, between the turtles.
Yeah, you could switch if you died. You could choose whatever one you. No, actually, you know what? I think there was a red joystick, a blue, a purple, and a yellow, and they were all in each turtle. So there was the yellow one for Michelangelo, the blue one for Leonardo, so on. So, and they were all stationary. So there was always the same turtle for each joystick.
Yeah, I remember playing this one as a kid, but I think I'm indifferent to it. It's definitely not one that I was like, oh man, gotta play that.
Well, it might have been, you might have been really, really young then, because it would have been 89, so I'd have been 10, so you probably would have been really young.
Yeah, but I love the arcade and the port to the NES, the arcade port to the NES.
Yeah, I love that one too. The part 2 of the arcade. Yeah, that one. I wish it would have been the one I got. I think the next Christmas I did get the other one, but yeah, which was incredible.
And this one they had like red bandanas. They all had red bandanas.
On the cover they all had red. Yeah,
and I was like, wait, that's not accurate. Like the turtles are different colors. But I think it was based on the comic book, because in the comic book they all had red.
The comic design, yeah, that might have been it.
Yeah, it looks really hard.
They've really changed a lot over the years. Like, I don't really keep up with turtles anymore, but it looks like they all kind of look unique and different now. Back then, they all looked the same with the same headband, and then the cartoon they all looked the same, but they had different color headbands. But I think now they're starting to look a little unique, each turtle of it.
Was there ever a point?
Did this one have
Go ahead.
Did this one have an arcade cabinet?
No, the Nintendo one never had, unless it was on the Play Choice 10. The 89 Ultra Games one never had an arcade. I don't know how you would have done that. Yeah.
That's always a good, topic. What NES games were the best,
arcade
ports. Yeah, and there's a big difference between the arcade and some of the Nintendo games, obviously, because they just weren't powerful enough. But I can think of one for sure that was a great port, Contra. That was an amazing.
Oh right, yeah, it might even be better than the arcade. A lot of times they would improvise and do different stuff to make it better than the arcade, but it wasn't like technically as good, but like gameplay was way better.
Yeah, that was an impressive one.
Do you remember thinking like, maybe I should ask my mom this is not the right Turtles game that I wanted?
Yeah, I thought about it, but I just was like trying to convince myself it was that game.
He didn't want to get his ass beat, probably. Yeah. Pull out that belt.
Hey, you said that you remember thinking it was going to be the exact same game. I remember.
Yeah.
As a kid, remember Siskel and Ebert?
Siskel and Ebert,
And they showed like the preview of, I guess they were going to review Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the live action movie.
Yeah.
And me as a kid, I'm like, oh, they're about to show the movie right now. Like,
oh, and they just reviewed it.
I got all hyped up. I got, I'm going to watch the Ninja Turtles movie. Yeah. I was like, what? It's just these two old guys talking about them and showing clips.
You thought they were the middle-aged guy version of Elvira.
Yeah. right, good.
So there was 3 movies when we were coming up, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja movies. There was 3 of them. Wasn't there one like recently that just came out?
There was
in the last few
of
years?
them.
Yeah, there was 2.
Of Michael Bay productions. There was a couple of them the last few years.
Oh God, Michael Bay. Were they bad?
I don't really remember them that well, but I didn't mind them.
Did you watch them?
I think we watched them. Yeah,
I did. I didn't.
Nothing can top those first 2 80s or the 89 or 90 and 92 or whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of have it stuck in my mind that those are the only Ninja Turtle movies.
I didn't mind the Michael Bay ones, but they're not, like you said, they're not, you can't compare them to like the Jim Henson puppet ones. They're not the same.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What about you, PMM? What's your number 3 most disappointing video game?
You know, I can mix match these. I'll just go ahead and start with this one. So, all right, I grew up playing back to the Nintendo. I grew up playing Metroid. That's one of my favorite games of all time. When people were playing Super Mario Brothers, kids were playing Super Mario Brothers, and Mega Man, I was in the Metroid world. I was playing Metroid and games like Bionic Commando and Ikari Warriors and Russian Attack and Legend of Zelda, of course. So, in Rygar, let me not forget Rygar. And massive fan of that game, which is weird with me is I didn't play Super Metroid because I missed the Super Nintendo. That was like, that's a system that I just never had. And so, which was really cool about the pandemic when I had 16 months off, and Tylord will attest to this, I got to beat some of the best games of all time, and I got to play Super Metroid.
Right.
And I live streamed every single, part of the game from beginning to end and beat the game, and it was incredible, just as everybody said it was. And an absolute badass game. And then, I got into prior to that, and this is not when I was a kid. This is when, I'm in my 20s, and I started playing the Metroid Prime series, and those games just blew my effing mind. I couldn't believe how good they were and how well it translated into the 3D landscape on the GameCube. And I just fell in love with those games. So GameCube was nice enough to give us 2 Metroid Primes on one system. So we had Metroid Prime, the original, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, both epic games. I love them. I know Steve tried to pick up and play Metroid Prime, the first one, and I couldn't get through it and lost interest or whatever. But, what makes those games great is the aloneness and you being independent and by yourself in a strange land, a strange planet. And that isolation is what really is the thing that I love so much about Metroid. Right. And the exploration and stuff is second to none. The worlds that you discover. And so when the Nintendo Wii came out, we're like, where's the next Prime game? We're so pumped about it. And they released Metroid Prime Corruption on the Wii. So, everybody gives the Wii flack and stuff for the controls or whatever, but let's face it, it sold like 60 gazillion consoles, and Wii Sports and games like that revolutionized the way you played video games. And there were some good games that utilized the Wii motion, and one of those was Metroid Prime Corruption. And Metroid Prime Corruption is just a beautiful game graphically. It's amazing. It's one of the best looking games on the Nintendo Wii. And the only part I didn't like about that game was the beginning when there wasn't the isolation. There was too much things going on. You're meeting all these different people, and they try to do this like superhero. There was these different superheroes, but I got over that in time. I've played it multiple times, and it gets right to you exploring again and being on your own as Samus out there in some universe that no one's ever explored before. So I say that to say this. So another incredible game. I mean, the Prime series 3 in a row knocked it out of the park. And then in Retro Studios, which by the way is an Austin, Texas company. And in case you guys don't know the backstory or whatever, Retro Studios, the new Metroid Prime that we've been waiting on for now, 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
What they were having another company make it for some fucking reason, and they had Retro Studios making Donkey Kong bullshit games, which I'm sure some people like, but I don't give a shit about them.
Shout out to Tropical Freeze.
Wasting yeah, exactly. That's the company and I'm sure they did a good job with that game. But because Retro Studios are badasses, they're a great company. But I want to say, don't quote me on this, but it might have been, was it Acclaim that was making the new Metroid game? It was some big company.
I don't remember.
I don't know if it was Acclaim or somebody. It was some huge company. And, they had already, did a bunch of the game, and Nintendo paid a visit and looked at what they had and said it was shit. So they fired them. And now they have Retro Studios back at the helm doing what they do best, making a Metroid Prime game that's going to come out in the year 2030 or some shit. Who knows, right? But the Nintendo Wii, again, used a different company. Nintendo hired a different company, and they made a game called Metroid Other M. Have you guys heard of this game?
Yeah, not many good things.
I've heard bad things about that.
Yeah, and wow, what a letdown for me. And to this day, I still, it's almost like a movie that you can't comprehend, and you don't know if it's bad. You're just like, maybe it's me. Maybe it's so different. Like a sequel to a great movie. Well, the first movie was so great. The sequel, it's kind of a letdown, but you're like, am I missing something? Is somebody else, because I've heard good things about it as well. I don't want to say that everybody shits on it, but I don't know, man. It's like, so the Other M, they try to make it a mixture of 2D and 3D. They try to bring the 2D back. So a lot of it is 2D, which, to be honest with you, it's not really fun on the Wii controls with the Wiimote when you're trying to do 2D. And I think later on they got better at it, with the the Super Mario, the new Super Mario Brothers games. If you guys have played those with the Wii
those
remotes.
Are good.
Yeah, they did. You turn it sideways and stuff like that. I just don't feel like the controls were good for to do 2D at the time. And again, it was like there were so many people she was meeting and stuff. It didn't have the isolation. And not only that, they were showing her face the whole beginning of the game. She was taking off her the suit, and you're seeing her, that she's blonde, and she's like talking, and there's like dialogue, and it's like, what is this? This is not Metroid. This is. So I just feel like they took a wrong direction with the franchise, and wow, was it so much different than anything else that the companies that made Metroid did in the past. It was just so different. But still to this day, I want to get back and I want to play that. I was thinking about streaming it. I was almost wanted to stream that as my next game, that I don't just throw in and do a couple of episodes and go to another one that I go from start to finish and just see if I'm missing something, because I love Metroid so much. I'm hoping that I am missing something, and it's better. It's better than I've imagined. But Metroid Other M is definitely one of those letdowns for me.
Was that the only one on the Wii, or was that Corruption one on the Wii?
It was the only Metroid game on the Nintendo Wii.
That's kind of
weird. And remember, we've had none since. So what do we have after the Wii? We had the
Wii U.
what's the console? We had the Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah.
They made no fucking Metroid games on that fucking console, which is it's such an overstep by them. It's such a it makes no sense at all because the game sold so well. I mean, it wasn't like everybody loved those games. I mean, I don't know why they didn't make it on Nintendo Wii U. It would have been the perfect evolution. I think. I dreamed about it to have. I remember thinking about, wow. So now we have that Wii U pad, whatever that thing's called. That now we can be like doing certain parts of the mission on that, and you could go through your inventory, and then I don't know. I just thought it'd be so cool with the Wii U.
Maybe you could roll around the ball on the screen, or like with there
was endless possibilities with the Wii U. I thought for Metroid Prime.
Yeah. So, or you could scan, like you could use it as a camera to scan the enemies or whatever.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I think they saw the writing on the wall though. Like the Wii U was kind of dead on arrival. So maybe they're like, let's not waste a new release on the Wii U.
Yeah, but why was it dead on arrival? It just didn't give you enough really great blockbuster games. That should have been the title that launched the fucking Nintendo Wii U.
Right.
Do you think is Metroid the Rodney Dangerfield of the Nintendo franchises?
That doesn't get any respect.
No respect.
I would say probably so. And let's don't even talk about Metroid Zero Mission and Metroid. There were so many great Metroid games, Fusion. That was another double header on one console, and both games were phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I don't get. And the other thing with those games is, you use the fucking advanced player on the bottom of your GameCube, and you can play those games with your Wavebird on your TV. On your fucking TV. So they're like real Metroid games. You're not just playing them on your damn your Game Boy. Right. So man, oh wow.
You play this one?
Your Advance.
Tylord?
Not taking anything away from Metroid 2 though on original Game Boy, which is a pretty darn good Game Boy black and white game.
Yeah, I've never played that one.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't a Game Boy guy. Yeah, the black and white. But I heard good things about that one.
Oh, before we get off this subject, another thing that bothered me, you said they skipped Metroid on the Wii U. Another console they skipped it on, and I was really disappointed with it, was N64 never had a Metroid.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed. Right. They were talking about, it can't handle what we want to do or whatever. But I played Shadow Man on N64, and I go, man, this is like really close to Metroid. Like if they could have done something like this with Metroid, it would have brought the the N64 up another notch. If they would have had a Metroid game, like kind of like a 3D type one.
Even if they did a 2D, it's like the N64 and the PS1 and the 3DO. Like I often think back and I'm like, man, I wish the 3DO made a bunch of 2D games. Why did they go so far trying to make everything 3D? It's like, come on. And there could have been some great fucking 2D games on the N64 and the PS1. The PS1 did
Symphony of the Night.
Another game that I beat during the pandemic. I mean, they did a great job with some of their 2Ds, but N64, I don't remember them having a ton of great 2D games.
Yeah, they did. I don't know how much of a powerhouse it was in that department.
Did they have any 2D games? The 64?
They had Yoshi, one of those Yoshi games, right? And they didn't even have any. Yeah, they didn't even have any damn Street Fighters on N64.
And 3DO thought they was the most futuristic system of all time.
Yeah.
How dare you even think that we would make a 2D game? It's like,
no kidding, yeah.
You know what? I've never played through a Metroid game.
Oh man,
I've only played a little bit of the Nintendo one. I think that's it.
That's such a good one. Even that first one, it catches that good isolation vibe, even way back then on Nintendo.
And I have the Switch one, the one that just came out. That's like a 2D one.
Yeah, I hear that's pretty good. Yeah.
Metroid.
Yeah,
Dread.
Zomberry said that was really good, man. That for me, and I want to play a Metroid game, and I always said, look at me. I have an Xbox One, the oldest one, right? I don't buy new systems unless you bring out a system seller, and I haven't seen any system sellers. And that new Metroid game, it barely missed for me. I was like, nah, that's not a system seller.
But you said sure when they come out with the 3D one, you're gonna buy a Switch.
Oh, without a doubt, I will buy whatever. If it's the next system, which it could be. How long has the Switch been out? The Switch is
2016, I think.
I haven't heard any news.
Wow, yeah,
2016.
It's been a long time.
I haven't heard any news. There's been no when they do those Nintendo, whatever they're called. They've showed no previews of an upcoming game.
I think
they've showed us no.
Yeah, I think they showed like the title, didn't they? Like Metroid 4 Prime.
Yeah,
and everyone got excited.
Yeah, like one in one of the old ones they did. The last one they didn't show shit. I don't think.
No, yeah.
But you know how Nintendo is. They kind of like do things when they want to do it, how they want to do it.
Yeah.
They're like, you just wait. But the good thing about Nintendo is it's, they have good quality control because usually their games are really good.
Well, how long does the system last? 8-10 years?
Yeah, unless your PS2 lasted forever, right? Or an Xbox 360 lasted forever too.
I think PS2, they're still releasing FIFAs in like Brazil or something, or in Europe.
Yeah, even here for a while, they kept doing the FIFAs and the Maddens. After it was long dead, they were. It might be about time for a new Nintendo. It feels like it just came out, but it's been like 6 years, huh?
Yeah, because they came out with the OLED screen one, and people were disappointed because they thought they were going to make like a Switch Pro, like a more souped up Switch.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, we'll just give you an OLED screen.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Which is kind of
I don't know too much about the Switch.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about the Switch, both of you guys.
Yeah.
Is the Switch kind of like a hybrid of the Wii U and the Nintendo Wii?
Yeah, it pretty much can do everything those can do and more.
Yeah, because
in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think because it has it kind of has what Wii U was going for. It only this thing you can take it wherever you go. You're not limited to like 10 feet away from the disc player. Like you can hook it up to the TV, play games, or you could take it off and go play it wherever you want.
Okay, a mixture of the Nintendo Wii U, the Wii, and the portable.
The 3DS.
It's all that.
The 3DS. It's a combination of those three things.
Yeah, because it has all the motion controls and all that.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep it on the Switch because my number 3 pick. Most disappointing video games. And I'm glad Zomberry is not on this episode, I think, because he might have told me off. This might make me lose some, like 3 of my 5 podcast listeners. My number 3 most disappointing video game, I have Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
On the Switch.
Oh, wow.
So let me preface it by saying I have never, ever played a Zelda game. Ever. Like never ever. So when I got the Switch, I said, okay, I like didn't want a Wii because I thought that shit's for kids. I think I owned a Wii U for like a month and never played it and just got rid of it. I had a GameCube, it collected dust, I gave it to somebody. So I just never got into like the Zelda game. So I said, okay, this new Zelda one, I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna beat the whole game because I wanna experience a Zelda game. So a couple of years ago, I went through it. Took me like about a year to fucking long ass game. Yeah. And I gotta tell you, it didn't blow me away.
Wow.
I was like, I in playing the game, I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather be playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, wow. Although
that's a shock. That's
that
a
game
shocker.
doesn't really encapsulate everything that Zelda is like the other ones. It's way different than the other ones. I love it, but that doesn't. You might want to try another Zelda game because
Yeah,
they're not all that open up, but they're kind of more linear. Like they're all pretty open, but they kind of they're more focused with like specific dungeons or whatever on the other ones.
Yeah, my friend Anubis was telling me play the other one. Is it Link to the Past? The one that's also on the Switch. They remastered it, I think.
Oh yeah.
He's like, play that one. But I'm like, I think I'm done on Zelda. Like, I think I played through a 60-hour game, and in playing it towards the end, I was just more like, you know how when you're playing a game and you love it and you're into it, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to like play it again. Like you're at work and like, man, I can't wait to get home and play that game again. I was just like, I can't wait to be done with this game so I can play something else. Like, when is this shit over?
Now, keep in mind, I've never played this game. I did find it at Goodwill, factory sealed for the Wii U, and I sold it. But so I've never played it, but I've heard so many great things about this game. Like I've never heard that kind of take before. I'm trying to think of like draw some references or some examples of what that would be like. It's like I guess I just watched Godfather 2. Man, that movie sucked. It was horrible. I'm trying to think what else. Like, come on, Steve, help me with this, Tylord.
What about Jaws? Jaws is.
Oh yeah, I just watched the first Jaws. My friend told me to watch Jaws 2. Jaws
and
4
I just wanted it to be over. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the original one and watch Jaws, even though he says Jaws 4 is the best. And oh god, it was horrible. The acting in that movie was just pitiful. Like I couldn't get through it. You know, the dialogue. Oh man, the stupid shark was dumb looking. Yeah, that's a shocker of a, you know. And again, I haven't played it, but I mean, it's just like Zelda. Like it's never been, I guess, a more open world Zelda game, and that was the big deal with that.
You know what you know what I think happened though. You know when someone super hypes up a game, a movie, something like they super overhype something. So I'm hearing this is the greatest game ever. Greatest game, like this is like top 3 greatest games ever in the world ever.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people.
Somebody's got a lot of people have it as their top Zelda game.
Yeah,
sure.
But I know even like old school guys, even like old school retro gamers, I hear a lot of them. Even they say this is the best game ever made. Not just like kids,
but ever. Like they're not just Zelda. Like this is the best ever. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to be like. My life's gonna change. Like I'm about to be blown away by this Zelda game, and
Tylord's played a lot of it, right, Tylord?
Oh, I beat it. I loved it. It's probably in my top 3 or top 5 Zeldas. Yeah, I beat it.
But is it in your top 5 games of all time?
No.
See, that's what I was hearing. Like, this is like revolutionary and beautiful and the best ever. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, but if you say top 5 Zelda, that says a lot too, because there's some killer fucking Zelda games.
So
they all hit it out of the park.
So a couple of things I didn't like was the fucking weapons breaking. That shit was annoying. Yeah. Like you're battling people.
That was annoying at first, but I kind of learned to appreciate that. It kind of made like me strategize more.
That annoyed me. You're battling someone.
Well, that brings up another point. Is it a frustratingly difficult game at times?
It can be.
For me,
I don't think it's because
for me,
it's not the toughest Zelda game.
That camel, I had trouble with that lightning.
Yeah, that camel. Yeah.
With the lightning.
Yeah,
that shit almost.
Because I remember playing, what was it? Either Demon Souls or Dark Souls 2. And thinking this is the fucking hardest shit I've ever played in my life. I fucking hated it, but at the same time, I was like, this is a fucking badass game. I can't just say it's bad because it's so brutally difficult. Because it's an amazing game.
Yeah, that's kind of how Battletoads is, or a lot of those Nintendo games. Like people say they're shit. They're not shit. They're just really freaking hard because those are like some incredible games.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if our boy Mario's.
No, it's not that tough, is it, Mario?
I beat Cuphead, and that's a fucking hard game.
Oh wow!
I beat that one. That's a fucking throw a controller at your screen game, and I love Cuphead.
That must be a newer game.
Yeah, it's like Mega Man / Contra.
Oh, okay.
It's Tylord.
It looks like Contra. Yeah.
I think you would like it, Tylord.
Oh, I would rage out bad with that.
Yeah, even my wife would say, like, can you not play that game anymore? Because then you're always in a bad mood when you're playing. But I love Cuphead. Zelda, I was just like, is this done over yet? Like,
oh man!
And then walking through the field like forever. I'm like, what the fuck? Man. Like, man, you know what my favorite part of the game was like the making the recipes. I think I like doing.
Oh yeah, the food. Yeah.
I like doing that. Like you go hunting and you go like kill animals and you grab plants and fruits and then you make recipes. I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah.
You can fish, I'm sure, in there, right?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. All these games have fishing.
I don't think I ever
fishing.
Yeah, fishing is so much fun in games. I would even playing Animal Crossing. My daughter was playing Animal Crossing. I would like grab the controller. I'd be like, "It's fishing time." I mean, it's so much fun to fish in games.
But you know, for me, I typically don't like long games. Like if they're like open world long games, I don't like those because I'm like, man, that shit's like it's too long.
I think I've grown out of that. I used to really like them because it was so cool. Like. It seemed like so impressive back then.
Yeah, I was like, give me.
I wouldn't recommend Metroid Prime games to you. I don't think that definitely would not be up.
It's an open world.
Your alley.
There is it kind of like a
I mean, basically, you land on a planet and you have the whole planet.
See, but those Metroid 3D ones interest me more because it has like aliens, right, and they're shooting. So that interests me.
Yeah, I think it's a shooter.
I think Zelda not for me. It's not for me.
I don't know. I would try a different Zelda because that one's totally different than any other Zelda.
Yeah, I don't know. When I beat the last boss, I was like, "That's it. All right, finally, let's play something else."
You know, let's put on our thinking caps here. So we were talking about Metroid earlier. If I were to suggest it, if I were to suggest a Metroid game for Mario, I'd probably say, why don't you start off with Super Metroid on the SNES?
Right.
That's probably where I would go with him.
I must start with Dread, just because I have it already.
Well, I mean, you could, and but you would love Super Metroid. I think on the Super Nintendo, it's a badass game. It's better than Dread. I'm just gonna say that. But Dread, I mean, I'm sure the graphics are incredible, and you know, but Super Metroid, I don't think it's better than that. From what I hear from people, but what do you think, Tylord, as far as a Zelda game? I mean, my favorite Zelda game is the first one, but I don't. Yeah, that might be going too far back. I don't.
But that's kind of more open. I don't know. I would say. I don't know if you're into retro like 8-bit games, right? Maybe the original Zelda.
Maybe I'll try that. But see, when I had I got the Nintendo late, like close to the Sega Genesis launch.
But I hear, what do you call it? A lot of people's top game ever is the Super Nintendo one. Is it Link to the Past?
Yeah. See, that one I played for like...
Maybe do that one.
I played that one for 30 minutes because my brother-in-law lent me the Super Nintendo and I lent him my Sega Genesis. We swapped. Yeah. And I played it, and that one was actually fun. But the whole time I was beating up the chickens. I was just chasing the chickens around. And I was like, this game's cool. But I don't know. Then again, I had Rumpelstiltskin and Razorback in my top 5 list for horror movies. So take it with a grain of salt.
Then, you know?
I'm just saying, I don't think the Zelda's for me, and I never grew up with it. So I don't know. Who wants to go next? Who wants to pick their number 2 most disappointing video game?
We're already in number 2.
Okay. It's moving so fast.
Who wants to go?
I'll let you go. I gotta go get a beer.
Okay. Okay. So for my number 2, I picked WWF Super WrestleMania for the Super Nintendo. came out in 1992, probably when I liked wrestling the most in my life, by LJN. And I don't know, was LJN just like a shell company of Acclaim? So kind of like Ultra Games was with Konami. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Like,
was it? I always thought
I don't
LJN
know,
was
because
was toys. They make toys first, right?
yeah, maybe it was like the toy division of Acclaim, but it made games too. I'm not sure if that, because I know they had strict licensing things, like a company could only make so many games or publish so many games. So they would have fake names like the same companies. So I don't know how that works anyway. But LJN's the one that gets a lot of flack.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this theme while you talk about it. Remember this intro theme?
Yeah, it has a good theme. Okay, so probably was into wrestling most at this time in 1992. That's like when I showed you all of those tickets from when we used to go to Arco Arena, watch wrestling, like with Ric Flair. Hulk Hogan was big, Undertaker was starting out. So when me and like all my buddies were all into wrestling big time. We were so hyped about this new Super Nintendo coming out because it's going to have a new wrestling game. It's going to be so much better than the stuff on Nintendo. Super WrestleMania, like you saw in the pictures of it, it looks so realistic. All the colors on Super Nintendo, you can see Hulk Hogan, all of his muscles rippling. You see the championship belt, the heavyweight championship belt looks so realistic. It's going to have cool music, all the wrestler themes, which it did, but then the game turned out to be very, very mediocre.
Did it have the themes? I don't remember that.
It did have the themes. Like they had some good qualities. Like they looked pretty good, and the sound was good, and it had wrestler themes. So that's pretty much the whole time. Most of the time spent on the stupid thing because it was very shallow. It was a very shallow game. It did not have an arcade mode or a tournament. Like there's a wrestling game with no arcade mode. Like there's no tournament mode. You could just do one-on-one, tag team, or Survivor Series matches, and that's it. There was no like game. They didn't have a game like an arcade or a tournament mode. And all the wrestlers were exactly the same. They were all the same size except for Typhoon and Earthquake were kind of fatter. But other than that, they were all exactly the same size. So Sid Justice is the same size as Macho Man. They all look exactly the same, and they all have the exact same moves. And the move set is very limited. It had a pretty good control scheme they kept that control scheme later on with some of the better games like Royal Rumble and Raw and Rage in the Cage and all that. So it had a pretty good control scheme, but it's very limited with the moves you could do. And they didn't have their unique finisher moves at all.
They did, didn't they?
No, not on the Super Nintendo one. The Genesis one had an arcade mode, and it had they had their finisher moves. It only had 8 guys. The Nintendo one had 10 guys, but they didn't have their special moves.
I didn't know the Super Nintendo one didn't have the finishers.
No, they didn't. Yeah, that's why like everyone loved Royal Rumble when it came out because they all had their finishers.
Yeah.
But anyway, like very basic, simple, shallow game. Like, and I think I saved up money for a long time. It was probably like $60 you spent on this stupid thing, and then there's like literally no content. I don't remember if it was around Christmas or not. I do remember all the wrestling fans were hyped about it, so you just had to take that and live with it. Kind of like WrestleMania and WrestleMania Challenge on Nintendo.
Yeah, this was like 91, 92, huh? Like
92, right? Yeah.
So like this was the first wrestling game, right? For the 16-bit.
The first WWF, yeah. And I looked at some old reviews like from magazine publications back then. It looks like it didn't really get that bad of reviews back then. So people are probably hyped for something like that or thought it was impressive at the time.
Yeah.
Like I see it got a lot of 7s and 8s and even 9s. Like it wasn't really reviewed badly. I'm thinking people just saw like the pretty graphics and the cool sound. Like I don't know if you remember transitioning from Nintendo to Super Nintendo, but but the freaking music and sound was so amazing when you first played that after Nintendo.
Yeah.
But I looked on the internet, like old reviews, and they weren't really that horrible. But I remember the game was very, very disappointing. But then again, you learn to love it, and you learn to keep playing it. Just playing the same stupid one-on-one match over and over, or Survivor Series match over and over. It's the only WWF game you have.
Damn, that's pretty whack. No finishers.
Yeah.
I had the Sega Genesis version, and I remember with Warrior, I don't know if you press all 3 buttons, and he would do like this little like jog in place, and then he would do a flying clothesline, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they didn't have anything like that. Wow. So it wasn't the belly splash or the gorilla press?
No, he would do like a little like freaking like tribal dance. I guess it was supposed to be like when the warrior, would jog in place, and then he would hit the ropes and do the flying clothesline. But it looked funny because he looked like he was like he had to go pee, and he's doing like this little like shuffle, and then he does a flying clothesline.
Yeah. And this one, the roster was mostly different from the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. They had mostly different guys. Like the Super Nintendo one had Jake the Snake and Sid Justice, and the Natural Disasters, the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
And Undertaker.
Yeah, so I agree with you because I remember playing this one like on the Genesis and being like, oh shit, Super WrestleMania, and I don't remember like playing it that much.
I don't think it was much better, but it was a little bit better on Genesis.
and I collect like the Genesis stuff, and I have Royal Rumble and I have Raw, but I do not have this one. Super WrestleMania. Oh yeah. This one was pretty.
Yeah, I kind of want to get it because it has Papa Shango on there.
On the Genesis, right?
Yeah.
It was just like like the blueprint for Royal Rumble. Like it was
right. Yeah. So you could tell they had something kind of decent there when they improved upon it with Royal Rumble.
And it was slow. Like Super WrestleMania was like slow. Yeah, not a good one because I remember when I got Royal Rumble, and I know a lot of people shit on LJN. But I like Royal Rumble. It's good.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. What about you, a PMM? I have a feeling you've never played Super WrestleMania for the Super Nintendo.
I don't know. I played the only wrestling games I played was on the NES. We had talked about this on one of the podcasts.
Tecmo Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling.
I probably did. I probably played a few of them. There was a few of them on there. The one that I have the most remembrance of is like you grab a hold of not having a finish move. That I can see why that would piss you off. That doesn't make any sense at all. But the one I had cool finishing moves. Hey, Storm! Oh. What are you doing?
She wants
Holy shit! Lay down.
Storm wants to be on the podcast. Hold on.
Okay,
let me push
we'll
this.
do it live.
Knocking the microphone.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
I'm gonna abuse this dog live in a minute.
I have the.
But anyway, you grab the opponent. But you only had a certain amount of time. Like you had a time limit, and you'd have to press like another button and scroll through all the different moves you could do.
Oh, is that tag team wrestling?
Tag team wrestling. And I used to love that game.
Yeah,
and you'd have to scroll through those moves really quick. So it was some technique to it. You had to be quick with the buttons and have good hand coordination.
Yeah.
To beat your opponent. So there were some good battles between me and my friends playing that game.
But no finishers. Even the damn LJN ones had like the WrestleMania Challenge had the finishers.
Yeah, they had finishers. Yeah.
So there's no excuse for the Super WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was pathetic. Yeah.
And I didn't know that.
Speaking of finishers, it's not really off topic, but I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, and they're talking about he was talking about how much of a joke the figure 4 lock was.
Oh yeah,
with
Rick
Rubin,
and how any like real like mixed martial artists would like do the heel. What do you say?
Yeah,
the heel
hook
or something like that.
heel hook
Yeah,
for
you'd be
knee-bar
fucked the moment that you tried that shit. And he was talking about he was talking about how he had interviewed Ric Flair and because Ric Flair that was his finishing move, right?
figure 4.
Yeah, along
for a
with
while
Tito
there.
Santana and Greg Valentine.
Yeah,
Buddy
but when
Landau.
Ric Flair first started wrestling, the figure 4 was built up like so much. It was put on such a pedestal that Joe Rogan said when he interviewed Ric Flair was like, I was scared to death. My first fight, they put me in the guy put me in a figure 4. I thought my life was over because it was built up so big back then. So
it is really creative. It's a really creative move.
I remember I used to listen to Stone.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I used to listen to Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, and so, like a listener was like, "You think the Stone Cold Stunner would be effective in a fight?" And Stone Cold's like, "Don't try to give in a real fight. Don't try to give someone a Stone Cold Stunner."
Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, and they went on to talk about the Boston Crab, and they were like, that doesn't come out in fights too much, but you do see it like in UFC fights. You always know though when that comes out that one opponent is way better than the other opponent. When he's pulling a fucking Boston Crab on you.
There's no way. It's so hard. It's so hard. Back in judo, we would try to do that stuff. It's so hard to do that to someone, a Boston Crab.
Because you have to grab their legs and turn them around.
If they don't want you to do it.
You mean I shouldn't try to leg drop somebody in a real fight on concrete?
That looks pretty cool, yeah.
Or give them the...
Hey, I tell you what, man. The figure 4, you do that on an amateur, though. I did that on many kids growing up, many friends growing up. And I tell you what, that'll fuck you up, man. They will beg for mercy.
They don't know.
Oh yeah, that's painful, man. On the shin, gets destroyed if you do that right.
Oh yeah, because it's a cool creative move. I like it. Like I think it was Buddy Rogers, the guy that invented it. Like that's a creative damn move.
I
told you guys I DDT'd my friend Russell on a box spring.
That's a real move right there.
Yeah, that's scary. That move.
Yeah.
I saw two of my friends.
I told him it was a mattress, but it was a box spring, and I knocked him out for a little bit.
I had two friends get in a fight in front of me, and one of them grabbed them in the headlock and DDT'd him like on the floor, and the fight was over. The guy was like, "Oh, I'm good. That's it." Like, I'm good.
Yeah, you could do that. It's a quick move. I mean, that's why they call it the deadly drop, right? What is it? The DDT.
Yeah, what is that?
Deadly drop technique. It's a deadly drop technique.
Nah, Jake the Snake named it after a poison. That poison that killed like insects or rodents. Yeah, it was a poison.
Well, it was Damien's dinner time.
No, hey, I guarantee it was later named the deadly drop technique. That was something that came out.
I one time gave a kid a enziguri, like the Owen Hart enziguri, and then I kept throwing my left. Yeah, I kept throwing my left leg at him to see if he would take the bait and get my foot. And he got it, and then I jumped up with the other foot and kicked him on the head. And he started crying, and I was like, no, sorry. Like trying to stop him from crying. Because we were like play wrestling.
I put many of women in the full Nelson in my life, in my adulthood.
Does the Cincinnati bow tie count as a wrestling finisher?
I mean, I should have said the hip Nelson. I meant the hip Nelson, not the full Nelson.
Oh man!
Give my boing. Give my boing. Come on, man. Give my boing. There you go.
All right. Well, that was your number 2, Tylord. You want to go with your number 2, PMM?
Yeah. Let me do it. Let me go with it. Hey, I wish I wouldn't. Let me see. What should I put right here? I'll go ahead and put, since we're talking about Zelda, this will be a good transition. I'm going to go ahead and put Zelda 2.
Oh shit! Another Zelda.
Which was help me with this, Tylord. That was Zelda 2
Link,
was
Adventure of Link.
Yeah, Adventure of Link.
Yeah.
So the first Zelda game was my favorite. It might even be my favorite game of all time.
Nice.
Just because it happened at a time in my life where I was really young, and it just took over my world. Like when I first got that Nintendo, I think my stepdad got the Nintendo, and he was trying to like be closer to us. That's why he got it. You know what I mean? Like, and he bought like family games and shit like that, and then when that shit didn't work, he basically just gave it to me, and that's when I got the real games. You know, the Zeldas and the Rygars and the fucking Bionic Commandos and the Russian attacks and shit like that. And but that game was just a little bit better than every other game. It wasn't even close. It was just like, wow, the music in that game and every sound effect, and that just, I don't know, it just like captivated me as a kid. I just loved it. I loved the puzzle solving. I loved going into the dungeons and blowing up blocks with bombs and pushing blocks to the left and opening up
all the secrets.
Opening up secret dungeons and basements and walking downstairs. And I mean, it just, oh man, the game was so phenomenal to me. And it was just like, it was kind of like, it was this 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then 2 came out, and they kind of they made fun of my franchise. You know what I mean? And I just remember buying the game. And again, listen, I'm not saying this is a bad game. People love this game. It's really got a following. And but man, you know what got me the most was the parts of the game where they had the over the top screen. Just like in Zelda, you're right. The overworld, the over the top screen where you're looking down on Zelda. The fucking sprite looked gay as fuck. It looked weird. It was like, it was a totally different like size sprite. It was like a skinnier, just weird. Like it was like it just did not. I had major problems with it. And
it turned
all
me
of a
off.
sudden,
It wasn't eye appealing at all. That overworld, I think that's what turned me off to it.
God, it looked
overworld.
terrible.
Yeah.
And all of the sudden, I'm moving around with this weird looking character, and I'm getting into battles.
Yeah, it's like an
and
RPG.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is I'm playing Dragon Warrior all of a sudden. All of a sudden, you're getting into spawn battles. What? This is not Zelda. Zelda was not. This is not Zelda. You're doing something Dragon Warrior invented. So I hated all that. Absolutely hated all of that. And then you get to where you're going, and I don't remember. It's been so long that I played the game. And you get out of that screen, and then it goes straight to 2D. And then you're some weird looking, like, I don't even know how to describe him. Tall, fat looking Zelda. Just really kind of like not really appealing. He looked weird. And the jump was weird. And when he stabbed, it looked weird. It was awkward. It did not look like, I didn't like any of the way it looked. And, when you had full hearts and the sword would fly like the original Zelda, that wasn't too bad. But the poking the sword around just looked fucking awkward. Kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good example. What was it? Faxanadu, that fucking dumb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just beat that one.
The sword play in these games is so dumb looking. And listen, that game right there was like the reason Nintendo Magazine was created. Like when you played that game, you went to Nintendo Magazine to find out what the hell was going on. Like, I don't think anybody beat that game without Nintendo Magazine. That was a big part of pushing Nintendo Magazine were games like that.
Yeah.
And you'd go into the village and shit and talk to someone and they'd be like, the sun harpoon would be in the Red Valley in the midst of the winter storm. And what? Some weird, like, you have to figure out what was going on. And like, I don't know. Like no one beat that game without fucking the magazine. I'm for sure of that. But it was something that I just did not press on. I did not play it all the way through, like most Zelda games, where I'm just so addicted to them. I got to play them all the way through. And again, man, you talk about possibly the best game ever made. You better fucking bring it the next game. And it was so abstractly different than the first one. It just threw me the fuck off, and I just never could fuck with it. And then wow, when they fucking get back to making Zelda what Zelda was, and they do that Link to the Past. Yeah. Again, during the pandemic, I fucking beat it live. Every fucking minute of it. I beat it live. Tylord was there for much of it. And wow, one of the greatest games of all time. And that's one thing I won't argue. If somebody says that's better than The Legend of Zelda, I'll say, okay, maybe it is. But not for me, because that's the game I grew up on. That's the game I love. That's what started it. But I understand why you say that, because it's so much more. It looks better. There's so much more to it. But I do get that. But the first one is the best for me. That one is number 2 for me for sure.
It sounds like with your picks, you don't like when they change the recipe.
Yeah. No.
You talked about this one and then Other M
and Metroid. They were trying stuff that back then. Maybe they didn't catch their stride yet, because I know Mario 2 was a lot different. It's like they were testing stuff out back then, like with the sequels. Wasn't there another?
That's a good example.
Yeah, Castlevania 2 also is more like Link's Adventure of Link. Like a lot of times the sequels were a little bit different back then.
Yeah, they did that. Mario 2 was a very good example. That was so much different. Yeah. And I don't think I ever got into that one. But I respect that one more playing it now than I did. That's really good. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool game.
They just took another game and reskinned it with Mario, right? Like Okie Pokey or something, Okie Dokie or something.
They improved upon it though, and that was a pretty darn good game to pick though, because we wouldn't have got that over here, and that's a darn good game. So I'm glad they put Mario on it.
What's it called? Okie Pokey or Okie Dokie?
Okie Dokie Panic. Yeah.
That was close.
I think Miyamoto made it though. He developed it.
You like this one, Tylord? Zelda 2?
I never really spent much time on it. I think I'm about ready to go back and try it again, because I just back my mentality up until recently with games is like I can't figure that out. I'm not smart enough. Like I never played RPGs or anything, but now later on in my life I have. I think I'm a little bit wiser, so I kind of like RPGs and stuff like that. So I might go back and try it.
Well, and also now we don't have to read Nintendo Magazine. Yeah. We can just go to YouTube and watch someone doing a playthrough.
Yeah, you can just look at a video if you get stuck. Yeah,
that's so crazy.
I've had to do that with multiple games that I've streamed. Yeah. Like I try not to do it with some games just because I'm stubborn and I'm cocky about some shit. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do this with this game because this is my shit. I'm gonna fucking beat this game by myself. But a lot of the games I've done, I've had to kind of look at some YouTube videos to try to give me some direction, because like it'll drive you nuts, some of these games.
Oh yeah.
Don't think the developers are not trying to drive you nuts when they make these games.
Well, because back then wasn't it like the replayability? Like nowadays, anyone can make a 50-hour. They make 50-hour games, and Back then, it
Yeah.
was. I'm sure Zelda's not super long. Zelda 2.
They wanted to charge a lot, so they wanted it to last long. So they either made it super difficult or super grindy.
Yeah.
Well, what's cool about Zelda is if you beat Zelda, the first one, then you had a second world to beat.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
It was the same world, but it was just different.
Yeah,
different. You had to find stuff.
Yeah, different items were all in different locations. All the dungeons were in different locations. Everything was harder.
Yeah. Don't get me talking about ghosts and fucking goblins bullshit.
Oh man,
we'll do honorable mentions after. I'm gonna give my number 2 now. It's both raw games for the Xbox, OG Xbox, both WWF, WWE, raw video games. Raw 1, I think it was Raw, and then Raw 2. So, man, I was like so disappointed when I got those games because by that time I'm already working. So I bought those games with my own money.
Yeah.
Well, the first one, I remember buying the first one and being like, oh shit. I mean, like you guys, I know you guys love the OG Xbox. I love the OG Xbox. I was like, oh man, this is going to be like
one of my favorite.
The best wrestling video game ever. And we were just, hot off of like the Aki THQ ones on the 64.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just think, oh, they're just going to be like, it's just going to be like that, but better graphics. And then you play it and god damn, when you hear people say like graphics aren't everything.
That's exactly a good example right there.
Yeah, that was like a graphics isn't everything. I would million times play the Nintendo 64 THQ games over Raw. Any of those Raw.
That wasn't. Yeah, they weren't Aki, were they?
I don't know what the hell they were, but they were horrible. Like they were just slow. Like it felt like your character was like, you guys are always talking about cyborgs. Like you're like a damn cyborg. Like, like it's all mechanical.
I couldn't stand that game. I bought that too, and I like took it back immediately.
Yeah,
you're not saying the graphics are better on the N64, are you?
No, what I'm saying is Xbox better graphics. But what I'm saying is gameplay matters because Xbox had better graphics, but the N64, the gameplay on those WCW Revenge, WCW versus NWO, No Mercy, like man, that like gameplay was tight, was like good.
Oh.
Were those made by different companies?
Yeah.
You gotta play Mario. Play Def Jam Vendetta. It's the same as those N64 games, but faster. It's badass.
I think I have the 2, Fight for New York.
Yeah, that one's good too. Yeah, the first one's more of a wrestling game though. Okay. But it has that same engine, that Aki engine.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out. That's the one with all the rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, so disappointed. The only thing that was cool about the Xbox Raw video games was that, remember the OG Xbox, you could rip your music onto the hard drive. So so you could create like a Dusty Rhodes and give him his actual Dusty Rhodes theme from like WWF.
Yeah, you can put the actual music on there.
Yeah, because you rip the CD onto the hard drive and you can make that wrestler come out to that song. So I remember creating like Sting and having them come out to A Man Called Sting, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. But then you had to wrestle in the game, and it was
it's horrible.
It was like just bad.
And it would do all those pre-scripted bullcrap stuff, right? Like it would like they would get fatigued and it would like do a little cutscene or something.
I just remember being like, I don't remember much about the gameplay. I think I just like tuned it out of erased it from my head. I was like, oh man, this is so disappointing. Because at that point I was all what? Go ahead.
Wait a second here. You hit on something. So you're trying to tell me? So I know about the music and the hard drive and stuff because I went on this old Xbox the other day and I kind of forgot about it and stuff, and it had me and my daughter's like songs and stuff. Like it was like Haley's Jams and stuff. It was pretty cool, and I was like listening to some of it. But you're saying that you can have those songs playing from that Xbox while you're playing the game?
Yep.
Yeah, if you create a wrestler and you want him to have a certain theme song, you just put that CD in there and burn it, or have it in your library on the Xbox.
And then when you're creative, you go to the settings and you say, I want, like, you could have the Undertaker come out to like Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden if you wanted to, and he would come out to it.
Oh, certain games will have settings that you can go to grab that music.
Grand Theft Auto 3 had it. You could have your own radio station with your own music, whatever music you wanted to play.
Yeah.
Like,
oh wow, that is really cool. Yeah,
I used to play. Did you ever play NHL Hits, the hockey like NBA Jam game? It was like NBA Jam but with hockey.
Oh yeah.
I used to put my music on it. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that really sounds cool.
Because you're playing.
Now I'm thinking about Halo. You know, no def running to some NWA.
Yeah, you can do that. Just
I don't know what will let you do it. I know Driver. I used to like to play Driver 3, even though it was crap. But you could do the free play mode and just drive around and steal cars, and you could have your own CD music.
I don't know. Can you do it on Halo? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
You should try it. I know for that Hits game, I used to love it because it would implement the songs you selected into the game. So as you're toggling through menus and stuff, like your songs will pop up, whatever song you have playing. Like it's part of the game, pretty much. So
I'll do some Fight the Power and the fucking Public Enemy on Halo.
Yeah,
Fight the elites, that beat. Yeah.
Man, I can't believe you didn't know that. You could rip your music on there and play it in a lot of games. It was super awesome. But
I got the feeling it was probably only like wrestling and like GTA and shit like that. I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah, but Raw and Raw 2 on the Xbox, man, trash wrestling games.
I at least have one of those games. It's got fucking Goldberg on the cover.
Raw 2.
Yeah.
That's Raw 2.
One of them has Triple H, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Goldberg.
But imagine, like, when I got the Xbox, I was like, oh, fuck, like, being blown away by Halo, and like, I was really into that NHL Hits game, and I used to like I think it was NBA Inside Drive, and then they had Dead or Alive, that fighting game?
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, now we get an awesome wrestling game, and
no.
And I'm like, I don't know if you're like me, Tylord, that back then, like, you had to have, like, your wrestling game for that system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's what turned me off to wrestling games, and I was done ever since then.
Because of those Raw ones?
But no, except for Def Jam Vendetta.
Yeah, just a trash.
What about Def Jam? What about New
Fight
York?
For New York.
Fight for New York. That's the same engine, right?
Yeah, that's really good. That one's even better, I think, but it's more of a fighting game. Like the first one's in a wrestling ring, so there's all the bouncing off the ropes and the turnbuckle shenanigans.
Oh, okay.
The next one's like in a UFC cage, or like in different venues. It's really good.
That was probably still like $100 game now.
Yeah,
like
I'm glad I got it when I did.
Yeah, those are pricey now.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go with their all-time disappointing video game?
Oh, we already to number one.
Yeah.
We'll keep the same order. We'll just keep it
I'll
rolling
go.
with Tylord.
Okay.
Most disappointing video game all time.
Okay. Now that I think about it, there's probably way more disappointing ones than this, but this was the one that really got me heated. And that was the launch version of Street Fighter V. I don't know if any of you guys had any experience with that. PS4, yes. So that's a recent game. That might be like 6 or 7 years old. Because I'm a big Street Fighter fan. Like Street Fighter 2 is like in my top 3 favorite games, and I love all of them. I love all Street Fighter rip-off games. I love all versions of every Street Fighter. Back then, like, I probably didn't have that many games back then because I spent all my money on the 3 Street Fighter games. It was all the same game, but upgraded versions. Oh, so people complain about, what do you call it now, DLC now, but back then, if there was a new add-on to a game, you had to buy a whole new damn game. Anyway, But Street Fighter 5, the launch, was it like, I don't know, games are what, like $60 or $70 now?
$70, brand new. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get this Street Fighter 5, $70. Because huge fan of Street Fighter 4. Like my buddies and I would always play Street Fighter 4. Like I never lost interest with Street Fighter ever. Maybe around 3, because I was maybe busy in that time of my life when 3 came out. I kind of skipped over that one. But Street Fighter 4 was later on when I was married and I had more. And I was kind of settled down. And then Street Fighter 5 came out, and it's not a bad game, like mechanically, like it's really good as ever. But the darn thing was $70, and it doesn't even have an arcade mode, and there's only like 8 characters, and you have to like buy more characters. There's no arcade mode at all, no tournament. And then you try to play online, and it takes forever to find someone to play online. So you're pretty much just stuck with these crap story modes. Each of the 8 characters has like a story mode, and it's such bull crap. So it's just like it goes through some little comic book story, and you fight maybe 2 guys per character, and it plays like a little comic story, like stills, not real animation, just stills. And the matches are easy as heck. Like you don't even have to try. You just you could just hit one button over and over and win the things. Are so darn easy. This little story modes, and each guy only has like 2 matches, and then there's no arcade mode. So before I would put like Street Fighter 4, the vanilla version that first came out was quality. Like it had like so many characters. You could unlock more by beating the game with certain characters, kind of like Tekken. It had arcade mode. I would like to just set the arcade mode to hardest difficulty and just play that all the time until someone challenged me online. And then I just get good practice playing the game on hard. This thing didn't have an arcade mode. Like if you imagine, like if you get a Madden game and there's no like campaign mode or season mode.
What's the difference between arcade mode and story mode?
It's the same. It had these story modes for each character, but it was only like 2 matches, and it was it's hard to explain. It was just like you choose a character, it would tell a little story of them, and then you'd fight maybe like 2 different characters, and it was easy as heck. The arcade modes where you play through the game like you play through the whole game like
part
just
2?
How Street Fighter, like part 2 or Mortal Kombat or the Tower. It doesn't have that. It didn't have that on the vanilla launch version. So you buy this game for $70, and I think the deal was they were trying to rush it out for like tournament, like competitive, like sport. What is that called? Like
Evo,
like sport, e-sport
things. Evo, they call it.
Yeah,
Evo.
yeah. I think they were trying to rush it out so people could get competitive with it on that Evo sport or whatever. But the game, just for like, I'm kind of competitive with it, but I'm more casual too with the game. So it's not really made for anyone to play unless you're practicing for Evo, which was even hard to do back then because you couldn't find people to play online. So I guess you have to have buddies. But man, I was just really super disappointed with that, and it turned me off to the thing for many years. And then I came back to it, and now it's like the best thing ever. Like they've improved. It has arcade mode, everything. It has more characters.
Nice.
It's just like the perfect Street Fighter game now. Like my buddies and I, that's probably the game I play more frequently than any other game because my buddies at work play it on a laptop at break time and after work. So it's turned into one of my favorite games. But that first initial launch, for however many months or a year, whatever it was, just was super disappointing to me.
That's kind of fucked up because, like you said, you paid full price for that.
Yeah,
game.
And then so then I had to buy the damn thing again for like the Champion Edition, which I said I didn't have any problems with earlier because I already did that on Super Nintendo back in the day, buying all the different versions. So I should have just waited later on and got the special Championship Edition or whatever, Ultimate Edition, where it has everything on there for $40 or $30 or $40, like everything, everyone's unlocked, arcade mode. It even has one of those story modes like Mortal Kombat has. So it had everything eventually, but just starting off, you spend $70 on something that doesn't even have a game on it. It's just like a tech demo. It was pretty much like a demo. That's what it was.
But that's kind of weird that they wouldn't have the arcade. That doesn't seem like it would be that hard to make you fight all the guys.
I don't understand. Yeah.
Do you play this one, Mac?
No. What game was he talking about?
Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5.
Oh, nah. I think the last. Let me see. Street Fighter. I mean, the arcade Street Fighter was really big when I was coming up.
Yeah.
We used to play that all the time. But I mean, as far as the later ones, I really was never like a big. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm more of a Mortal Kombat fan than I am a Street Fighter guy. I'm definitely a Mortal Kombat guy.
Yeah, I picked up.
So no, I've never played that one.
I've picked up that Street Fighter 5 a lot at yard sales. And it's literally the vanilla one. It's literally worth like $5 to sell it.
Yeah.
With free shipping.
Oh,
yeah. because like what you're saying, it has nothing on it. It's like
I think even if you buy the special edition one, it's still not worth crap because it's still just a basic model, but it comes with a code. So I think any physical copy of this is worthless.
Yeah, it's kind of.
What was that one game? Street Fighter 2010 on the fucking.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure that was way better than the game you're talking about.
At least that was
way better.
I missed out on that game because I think at that time I didn't have a PlayStation 4. I had only the Xbox One.
That's another thing. That's the reason why I bought a PlayStation 4. Was for Street Fighter because it wasn't coming out on Xbox. Otherwise, I would have gotten the Xbox One, but it doesn't come out because Sony like funded it to have it made or whatever. So it was only on PS4 as far as consoles. So that's the whole reason I bought the freaking PS4.
Yeah, that was bullshit too.
Oh God,
that was bullshit too. Like, why can't we get the Street Fighter game?
Yeah,
too?
no kidding. Yeah.
It's all money. I think the new ones on. I think the new one's coming on both.
Thankfully, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Damn. Yeah, but that's kind of the. I consider myself more of a modern gamer. I think that's our fault because we buy the DLC, so the companies know these suckers will sell them whatever, and then they're just gonna buy the DLC anyways.
Yeah. I'll admit if it's something I'm really interested in, I'll buy it.
Yeah, but they milk it. The companies know that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
it's not like back in the day. Like you would get the game and it had everything in it, and you paid for everything.
They have like day one DLC now. Like you can't just put it on the damn game. They have like day one DLC. Like you can't just put everything you made on the game that I spent $70 on.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, you're next, PMM.
Well. I'm going to go into the Castlevania realm. And I choose Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest.
Wow.
Yeah. Tylord actually mentioned that game earlier. I was about to tell him to shut up. I'm going to talk about that later. But I don't want to give it up. But, I'm going to keep the trend alive here. I mean, it's really, when you really think about it, it's kind of like he mentioned. It's kind of the same fucking bullshit. It's, Zelda 2. It does the same shit, but I would even say more so. And back to talking about like the original Zelda. The original Zelda, and I used to tell people this back in the day, and they're like, "No, that's not. I don't know if that's true." Yeah, it is true. The original Zelda was an RPG, but it was action first, RPG second. Now, the Zelda 2 was more RPG. They decided to put RPG before the action, and that's what happened with Castlevania 2. They did that. They made it an RPG game.
Yeah, it's way more.
And that really bothered me because the first Castlevania, like I feel like I could probably put on the first Castlevania and stream it and probably beat it in 3 hours, like literally like beat it all the way through. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and it was so ingenious how they put all the Universal monsters in it.
Yeah,
so you're fighting the Mummy, the Wolf Man, the fucking Frankenstein. That Medusa. I mean, it's like that. It's everything, man. It's like it throws everything at you, and man, that is one. I remember looking at that game as a kid and thinking that, God just appeared in my living room, just like looking at it. Like it was so stunningly, the castle, everything looked so like amazing graphically. It was just incredible to look at. And it was challenging, but yet it was like beatable too. And it was fun as fuck, man. But so again, like you put a game on a mountaintop like that at a pinnacle of the series, you start off that great, and you're not bringing Godfather 2 here. You're bringing, I don't want to pick on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. People love 2, but I don't know what a good example is, but a Leprechaun Back to the Hood, maybe, I don't know. but yeah, and they had that day night thing. Every 12 hours it turned to night.
Yeah.
And you're just walking around pointlessly, going into it's even more boring at night than the daytime. You're just walking around talking to people. There's no action. It literally takes the action out of the game. It's like it's all RPG. It drives me nuts. It's a weird game.
Yeah.
It's a very fucking odd game. I can't even describe you the action points of the games. I don't even remember the action in the game. It's all walking around in dialogue boxes, trying to figure out where the fuck you're going and when it's going to be daylight again so you can see what the fuck you're doing. It's like, I don't know. It was a major letdown in the series. And then they fucking hit you with Curse of Darkness, which is it's identical to Legend of Zelda. Zelda, classic masterpiece. And then they hit you with Adventures of Link. Then they hit you with the fucking Super Nintendo, hits you with the third Zelda, and it's like it blows your mind.
Yeah.
Same thing. Curse of Darkness was an amazing.
Dracula's Curse, yeah.
Castlevania. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Dracula's Curse was an amazing fucking Castlevania game.
Yeah.
And I have that game, and I have not played that game through yet.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
It's fun. I gotta play that game through.
Yeah.
I gotta beat that game from start to finish, man, because I've heard such great things about it.
That's
man.
on Nintendo. That's a Nintendo game.
Yeah,
it's pretty darn impressive. It's really pushing the Nintendo hard.
Yeah, they released a fucking game as amazing as the first fucking. 3 fucking Castlevania games on the Nintendo.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they did that shit. I've never seen anything like it before. It's fucking phenomenal.
You like this one,
and then
Tylord?
Super Nintendo,
Castlevania 2, I don't mind it, but I get stuck on it. I've never beaten it. I kind of want to go back and try it again.
Which one?
It's one of those Nintendo Power Magazine fucking games.
Yeah, that's very, very.
Look at magazines.
Yeah, you have to. I think some of those puzzles are so vague. Like you have to have a call the hotline of Nintendo Power.
Yeah, it's a subscription seller is what it is.
Yeah.
Is that hotline still alive? Can I call that for Metroid Dread? Can I call that for Metroid Dread right now? Can I do that? I want to call that for Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Wow.
Great, it right now.
Great game right there, Tropical Freeze.
Hey, let's call the 1-800 number right now. Does anybody have that number? Let's call it. Let's see what they say. Let's do it live.
All right. You have it? Let me look at it.
You have it. I don't have my magazine.
You're supposed to hit me with the. Let's do it live. Come on, you're fucking up, Mario.
We'll do it live. Okay.
Hold on.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Let me go see
Fucking thing sucks.
Nintendo. Oh, they don't have it. The hotline. What hotline?
Yeah, I wonder if it's still alive. I wonder if it's still going. Wouldn't that be cool if you could call about Metroid Dread or some shit like that?
Now they just have a customer service number for your broken Switch controllers that have drift on them.
It's all automated and shit. Cyborgs answer the phone.
Oh, here it is. 1-800-255-3700.
Hi, you've reached Nintendo. And even though we're closed right now, you can visit our website, support.nintendo.com, for help with troubleshooting, parental control, order status.
Wow.
Yeah, that support number.
That number was from like 94, that magazine.
They probably just kept it and linked it to the support.
Yeah.
That would need the or we need the Mean Gene, the Scheme Gene, WCW.
Find out who Macho King Randy Savage is sleeping with.
Everything. Nintendo Hotline 90s. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. 1-900? It was a 1-900?
800? Oh, I don't know.
Let me dial this one too. 1-900.
Okay.
Oh, that shit I get charged. But let me.
That's probably gonna be a sex chat
Oh,
line, probably.
I found the 1-900 number. Hold on. Let's see what it is
shit.
now. All right, let's see what
Lay down.
dialing right now.
Before I let Taylor bite your face again.
See if they have some tips for.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please hang up and redial.
The 1-900 number is no more the hotline. All right.
Let's get back to Castlevania. Let's talk about Castlevania 4. That was an incredible game on the Super Nintendo. I hate to keep going back and harping on this, but man, I think I beat that game during the pandemic again. All the way through, recorded all of it live. What an incredible game. 1, 3, and 4 are some of the greatest games ever created. That's all I gotta say.
Also, it kind of goes off the beaten path, but Symphony of the Night's my favorite.
Oh God, I love that game. Another game I beat during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Fuck, I love that game.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I've never played the Nintendo Castlevania games. The only one I played is Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis.
Oh, that's a good one too. That one's solid. That one's good.
Dude, Symphony of the Night, like you get to a certain point and then it flips the fucking world. It flips the world upside down.
You have to do the whole darn thing over again upside down.
It's like, holy fuck, man! Like, I love that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, Mario, you gotta play Symphony of the Night, man.
Yeah,
Holy shit, what a game!
I missed that.
What a fucking game!
I was.
You don't even have to. You don't even have to be really that good because you can level grind on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it levels grind, dude. Yeah. Dude, Symphony of the Night has the greatest 2D graphics of all time. Like who's the main character in that? Is it
Alucard?
Alucard. Alucard. The design of Alucard with the cape, the way it looks when you're playing is it's never been done better.
Yeah, it's like so many frames. PS1, and his cape floats, or like his garments flutter around. He has like so many frames of animation.
Oh my god!
And I love how he moves too. Like before that, it was always Richter or Simon with the whip, and they don't move bad, but they kind of move like clunky. But Alucard kind of moves like Ninja Gaiden, like you can slash.
For sure. It's a beautiful thing, man. I think I've had more fun playing that game on live stream than any game I've ever played.
It's so good.
How long is it? If you had to ballpark, how many hours?
Maybe like 20 hours.
Dude, shit. I don't know how long it took me on a live stream, but I mean, it took me about two weeks probably playing 45 to an hour every other day or whatever. You know,
that's not bad. That's less than 20
You're gonna want to try to 100%, like try to find every little secret. It's pretty easy to do without looking online, right?
I think I did a lot of YouTubing when I streamed it. I did a lot of YouTubing on that.
There's a couple things like you gotta like look it up because it's confusing, but most of it like you can just keep searching around and you'll find what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I want to try it on the Xbox because they have it on the Series X, like a downloadable one.
Yeah,
I bought it for
collection.
I bought it for like $2, I think, digital.
Oh, nice.
And then when that goes into the 3D world, the Castlevania, we haven't talked about that, man. I live streamed that during the pandemic. Fucking Castlevania: Lament of Innocence on the PS2.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I fucking love that shit, bro. Like and Tylord told me Curse of Darkness. Curse of Darkness. Man.
Oh, Curse of Darkness is almost like 3D. It's like 3D. Symphony of the Night is so cool.
That's only on the Xbox, so I have that.
I think it's on PS2 also.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
I have it on the Xbox, so that's one of the ones I'm going to stream soon.
Oh heck yeah!
I'm guessing that's a pricey one.
Love it, man.
That's a pricey one.
I don't think so.
No?
I think
probably about $30. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad. All right.
The cover art looks badass on it, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I missed out on the Castlevania games because even Bloodlines, I think I could only get to like stage 2, and then I would die, and that was it.
Yeah,
that's a hard game. I heard that's
the little level by level or stage by stage ones are pretty tough.
Yeah, it'd be like the werewolf, like when you fight that wolf, I think is like this first stage that's like howling and the glass is like breaking and everything, and then I think I die in the next stage where there's like sea creatures that pop out of the water.
Yeah, those sea creatures show up all the time in all the games. Yeah.
And I think even like the Sega Saturn has like a Castlevania Symphony of the Night version too.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that. Or is it only like in Europe or so?
I'm not sure, but the Sega Saturn, you can play that bitch with your little cartridge and shit. You know what I mean? It's easy to play any kind of foreign games or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
There was some issues with it, but also there's some diehards that love that Sega Saturn version.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Kind of like the Resident Evil. There's some diehard Resident Evil Saturn fans because I guess it has like additional content. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't play the NES Castlevanias, but I don't know if you guys have heard of Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Oh, yeah, that looks... isn't it the same guy that made it?
I don't know, but I beat it on the Vita, and it says...
you beat that game?
Yeah, it says...
dude,
yeah, it's good.
Oh, you'd love Symphony of the Night then if you like that.
And that one was fucking cool. It's like... I know it's like playing homage to the Castlevania games.
Yeah.
Played it on the Vita. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, if you like that, you'll love Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, where you're like, you can be like a wizard, you can be like this ninja girl, and then you can be like Dracula, like this Dracula character. Yeah, fun game. All right.
I don't think I've ever played. I've never played Bloodlines on the Sega Genesis, but I think Symphony of the Night's got to be the #1 Castlevania game of all time.
That's what I would.
And I would put the first Castlevania second. And then I would be tempted to put
the 64 one.
I'd be tempted to put. I would be tempted to put 4, even though I really need to play Bloodlines to make that decision. But without playing Bloodlines, I put 4, and then probably 3 on the NES. Curse of Dracula. Dracula's Curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to play those. Especially now that you told me if I like Bloodstained, I would like the NES Castlevanias. I gotta give it a go.
Oh God, man. Fucking they're filthy fucking good, man.
I was too busy playing shitty LJN games back then. Shitty wrestling LJN ones. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna now go with my final number one. Number 1, I got Twisted Metal 3 for the OG PlayStation.
Yeah.
Man,
thank God you did something that we can relate to at least.
Have you guys played that Twisted Metal 3 on the PlayStation?
I remember.
I played Twisted Metal games, but I'm trying to think. 3? I know I own it. I do own it.
It sucks.
I might not have tried it.
I remember it didn't do anything for me because I was a big fan of the first two, but I think maybe I don't know if I was just getting that age where I wasn't into games, and so I don't know if it's bad or good or not, but I just remember it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, you know how I think you brought it up, Tylord, for Super WrestleMania when you're almost like forcing yourself to like say, oh, this game is good. Like, no, this game is actually good. Oh, you said it for the Turtles one, I think. Like, that's how I felt about this one. Like, because I know you like Twisted Metal too. So, man, I loved Twisted Metal 2, and I really like Twisted Metal 1, the first one.
Yeah, both of them are classic.
Okay, so you like 1 and 2.
So, coming off of 2, 2, I would play every day after school with my friends. Like,
dude, that's so good.
Like, every day. All right, Twisted Metal time after school. We're going to play for an hour, and then we would go shoot hoops down the street. But Twisted Metal 2 was fucking awesome. And so then... This is the first time I ever experienced the thing where like a franchise gets bought by another company.
Okay.
So this, I think Incognito made the first 2. I don't know if that's correct, but I think that's the company. And then 989 bought the Twisted Metal franchise.
Okay.
So 989, I think they would make a lot of those sports. They would make like a lot of those PlayStation sports games. So they got it, and I buy the game with my own money because I'm working at that time. And I go home, and I think I invited my friends. Oh, Twisted Metal 3, like come over, like this is gonna be awesome. And I just remember playing it, and like with a smile, but inside almost like, what is this? Why am I not enjoying this? Like.
Did you guys fire up a big bong before you fucking put some ice in a bong and put some good weed in there?
Nah, no? we were all geeks. We were not we didn't smoke or drink. Okay. And I think we were in like 9th grade.
You had your I thought you had like your own. You said you bought it with your own money. Okay, so you're still a kid. Okay.
Oh no! I think I might have been 11th or senior, but I know I was working because I bought that. Okay, but. Man, so that 989 bought the game, and you just play the game, and it wasn't the same Twisted Metal. It just didn't feel right. Like the mechanics, the weapons, like it just felt off. Like I don't know, it was like something intangible. Like this is not Twisted Metal 2. Like this is something else, and it had like the soundtrack from Rob Zombie. So I was like, all right, cool. I like Rob Zombie. Like so, that's cool. You have Rob Zombie. So, but, oh man, like talk about one of those, like, man, I think I was crying inside that it wasn't the Twisted Metal I knew.
What about 4? Was it the same company that went on to do 4?
I think after 3, I was like, I'm not one that's when I think I realized, like, I think I might have read it in a Game Informer or something that it was bought by like 989. And I was like, oh, that's why this fucking game sucks.
Oh yeah,
because they would make all like
special.
They would make the Maddens and stuff.
About those. Yeah. Those first 2 games, there was something special about them. Like they really had some love put into them.
Yeah,
I think that 989 made Metroid Other M. They made Castlevania 2, and they made Legend of Zelda.
It just felt like they
made WWF Raw.
You know what it was?
Yeah, they made all the games we hated.
It was just too clean. Like I know Tylord, you know, like 2 and 1 had like that grit. It had like some grit.
that lovely grit. Yeah,
and it didn't have licensed music. It was.
I didn't grow up with that PS1 Twisted Metal. Like did the same? Okay, so the characters. Like, could you guys could name like characters that you liked from the first one, right? Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
I like Dark Side.
You got.
Did number 2 have the same characters in it, and they just added a few more?
Yeah. They maybe replaced a couple of them, but it was mostly the same.
Yeah, that Sweet Tooth.
Okay, and then 3. What about 3?
I don't remember any. I just remember it had like you could be Calypso, right?
Yeah, but 3. I mean, all the Twisted Metals, like the staple, the character is Sweet Tooth. Like he's in all of them.
Yeah.
He's like the mascot.
Oh,
Of
Sweet
Twisted.
Tooth is in all of them? Okay.
He's the clown, the killer clown. So he's like the staple of all the games. But
Right, so 3 sounds like it didn't have a lot of the characters in it. So
no, 3 is just the gameplay. It felt like the soul was sucked out of it. Like the soul of Twisted Metal wasn't in that game.
Go lay down. Jesus Christ.
It just felt like that. Like, you know, when a game gets it almost felt like it sold out. Like Twisted Metal 3 sold out. Like where the
like it was like there was the first 2 were like theatrical James Cameron movies, and then the third one was like a sci-fi original.
Yeah, exactly.
And part 3, you know, has like licensed music, so you're like, oh man, this is like production's gone up, but the soul of the game was not there anymore. Like, it wasn't.
Or
the
maybe
same.
that's not a good example. Some like really good indie movie.
And I don't know if you guys have
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4.
Yeah.
Or no.
Yeah, maybe that's a.
But you don't
know what was the one? Texas Chainsaw Massacre with
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
The next generation.
That's a good one.
Oh, I forgot Mario likes that one. What the fuck?
But man, yeah, that one just was like a letdown. Have you seen that meme with that guy that's wearing like a paper mask, and the paper mask, it has a big smile, but under the mask he's like crying? Have you seen that meme? That's how I felt like playing that game. Like, fuck, what the fuck is this? But I think after that I didn't buy 4, and then they had like Twisted Metal Head On and some other ones, and I never bought those.
What about Black?
Oh, so when that one, I remember reading the magazines, and they said, oh, the same guys that made the first 2 are coming back. So I bought Black, and Black is awesome. Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Man. Was that made by the same company?
I think some of the guys that worked on the first 2 came back to make Twisted Metal Black for the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, because that had a good vibe.
That's a PS2 exclusive too, right?
Yeah. That game's awesome. Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
that's a good one. But yeah,
I can't help but to think that Matthew McConaughey in that movie was like he was kind of like Rumble from fucking Transformers, Soundwave Rumble with the leg.
Yeah, he was stomping stuff. Yeah.
It's like that's what it reminds me of. Fucking Soundwave's Rumble.
Yeah.
What about honorable mention since we went through our top 3?
Shit, I got a good one for you. RBI Baseball.
Really?
On the NES, man.
Why? Why that one?
That was I played thousands of it's not that one. I played thousands of hours. You know, we gambled on that game. There was so much competition on that game between me and friends, man. It's unbelievable. I don't ever remember any fucking RBI game after that being any good. They totally fucking tanked that series. That series was horrible afterwards.
So
no games were good.
So anything after part 1 sucked.
No, they did some kind of split screen where you could see part of the screen was the first base. The characters were different sprite sizes and different designs. The audio was totally different, and they had this really cool audio sounds where I always compare it to Ikari Warriors. When they throw the grenade, it's like, the home run sounded like that when you hit a ball up in the air. It's like, it's like, so I always loved that and shit, man. Everything changed. It was just totally different. Kind of like you said with the Twisted Metal. It was like someone else was making it. It did not have the same feel, did not have the same soul. It was like lost in translation. So none of the RBI games after the first one were any good.
They were on the Sega Genesis afterwards, right? Did they ever come out on the Super Nintendo?
Oh, I remember only Genesis had.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just know they all sucked.
You got any honorable mentions, Tylord?
I have The Rocketeer for Super Nintendo, and
never played that.
Obscure random game.
I have Assassin's Creed because I remember everyone was hyping that thing up so much, kind of like your Zelda.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to play this. It was kind of early on in the life of 360, and I was all big into like Elder Scrolls. I go, so there's going to be some new open world game that looks even better than Elder Scrolls, and that Assassin's Creed game, and I played that, and I got bored as heck playing that. I think I took it back.
I think
the first one.
Yeah.
I beat that one. Okay. I've beaten that one.
Yeah, wow. I don't know how. I could not get into that.
But I could see it's kind of repetitive. Like it's kind of like go here, do stealth, and then kill this guy. That's every mission is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the whole game was a tutorial. I played it. It's like you go here, do this, do that. The whole game was a tutorial.
Oh, okay. Maybe, so it's not just me.
I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. But I remember thinking, like, every mission is the same shit. Like, every mission is stealth and then just kill that guy.
Yeah, like you kill a guy, then you jump off some, like, 50-foot tower and land in the back of, like, a hay wagon, and then, like, no one knows you're there.
The only thing I liked doing in that game was running behind people on roofs and throwing them off the roof, tackling them.
Yeah. So I got to try some of the newer ones. I hear the newer ones are really good, but I just kind of lost interest after that.
The pirate one was kind of fun. The Black Flag, I think, Assassin's Creed. That one was pretty fun because you're on like a ship, on a pirate ship.
Yeah, they've done all like the pirate ships, the pirate ship battle stuff since then.
Yeah. All right, let me hit you with one back to back here. Tecmo Bowl. Okay, Tecmo Bowl, and get another fucking like two dynamic games on the same system. Tecmo Bowl, everybody remembers Bo Jackson. Super Tecmo Bowl, which is a superior title. Super Tecmo Bowl on the NES as well. And then after that, what the fuck happened to that franchise? Those are like literally to this day. You talk to a person my age, and we might tell you, this is the best football game ever fucking made. Fuck Madden, fuck this, fuck that. Tecmo Bowl is where it's at. Super Tecmo Bowl. Now, this underground society has made these mods. These I don't, what do you call them? Where every year they release a Tecmo Bowl game with the updated NFL stats and the updated NFL players. Well, shit, the fucking Nintendo should have did that shit. They should have just kept it going every single year. And we would still buy it. We would still spend money on it. I mean, that would have been legendary. So I gotta say the Tecmo Bowl.
That would have competed with Madden, huh? Maybe Madden wouldn't have, like, monopolized all of that. Because aren't they the only ones that can do NFL now?
Yeah,
maybe, but I mean, I wouldn't want them to take it to the 3D realm. Keep it in the 2D realm. Keep doing what you're doing. Just improve the graphics every year. On each release, and I would have been fine with that.
I can see that now, especially now because everything retro is in. I could see them doing one right now.
Yeah, I mean, they did something recently. I can't remember what it was. They came back with it.
It was on the Mini, right? It came out on the Mini.
Yeah, you guys can research it, or anybody listens to the podcast, but they like came out with Super Tecmo Bowl, like a new release of it with new stats or some shit like that, and you could play it online. You could play it with. That's really, I mean, that's the key to Super Tecmo Bowl. It was the funnest competition game. So if you could play with people all around the world, that's really where it's at.
It might be on that Switch service, is it, Mario?
It might be. I heard about it in the last few years.
Yeah, it's on the Nintendo.
And I always thought to myself, man, that's my game. I'm the best.
Hey, that's your system seller right there. Now you can get a Switch. That's the killer app right there. Yeah, that's the killer app right there.
Because I always felt like I was the. Oh, you know what? Yeah. So I did that. Mario won't know this because this is old. No, I'm sorry. I didn't do this. Let me see. My twin brother did this. He had almost like a he had like a record on Tecmo Bowl. He put it in one of his videos where he scored over 120 points in a game. 120-0 in Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, he showed me. Yeah, I had it on a camcorder, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly, on camcorder. So I'm telling you right now that I will play anyone in the world at that game. So I'm ready for that. I'm gonna have to do some research and shit. I don't think it's true. I don't think they do that online right now, but it might have been something they did for a little bit.
I think it's on the Switch, but I don't know if you can play it online. Pretty sure it's on.
Find out, man.
Yeah, I got a mission. I'm gonna name a couple of mine. I got State of Emergency on the PlayStation 1. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Yeah, it was a Rockstar game.
Yeah, it was like after Grand Theft.
Is it a Rockstar game?
Yeah. And like back in the day, you would read the magazines and you're like getting yourself hyped up because the magazine's telling you, it's got this feature, and every character on the screen is like has their own like AI. And
and there's 100 characters on screen.
Yeah, 100 characters, and they all think differently. And then I remember I was like pumped up and telling my friends, "Oh, this game is gonna be the greatest game! Like it's gonna be better than Grand Theft Auto." And then I bought the game, took it home. Same thing as Twisted Metal 3. Like, oh man, this shit sucks. This game's horrible. Yeah, so that one sucks. I got Loaded. You guys ever play that on the PS1?
Loaded, yeah.
Whoa! Don't talk bad about that. What? Loaded?
I didn't like it, and I think I didn't like that.
I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it had cool music, and it was like overhead, like dungeon crawler shooter.
Yeah. So now I bought it. I recently bought a bundle from a lady, and Loaded was in there. And I'm kind of like, I think I got to give it another try because maybe, like I mentioned earlier, maybe it wasn't a game for me at that time. But I want to give.
Dude, that was one of the first games that I started live streaming. I could not get by the first stage.
So it is.
I don't know what it is.
So
I don't know what it is. Like that initial part, it's kind of a badass game. The initial, like it reminds me of Contra, big time. And the initial part where you're running, I think you're running down like a street sideways, and all these missiles are flying at you, and you're doing all this stuff, and then you enter into some kind of room where there's like ladders or some shit, like you have to climb up and down or some shit. I can't get out of that fucking stage, that part.
I must be singing a different game.
No, Loaded. I think
it's top down, right? And it's really gory.
Oh, maybe I am thinking of a different game. Maybe I'm thinking of. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of One.
Okay, yeah. One.
I'm thinking of ONE on the PS1. My bad.
No, Loaded.
I know now.
Has like a guy holding a cartoon, like clown kind of character holding a gun, right? And he's pointing it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Loaded. You know what? Did Loaded come out in long box too?
Yeah, long box. Yeah. That's the one.
It did come out in long box.
That's the one I bought, and I'm like, should I give it another go, or should I just keep it on the eBay and sell it? Because you think it's good, Tylord? Like, is it good?
I remember it being cool. I never actually bought the game, but it was on a demo. Like the whole first level was on a demo, and it had cool music and it had cool effects. Like every time you kill a guy, it would turn into a big splatter of blood and guts, and it would just stay there.
Yeah, demos are tricky though, because it's like watching a bad horror movie, and like a bad horror movie that's so bad that it's good. It's like if it's an hour and 10 minutes, it's fucking epic. But if it's an hour and 45, holy fuck, this movie sucks. That's kind of like video games too. You know what I mean? Like demo, it'll trick your ass. But I think Loaded was pretty decent. That's something I would go check out again.
I think I might try it if it doesn't sell on eBay before I can play it. But I might try it.
Try that game One if you've never played that. That's a game I want to go back to. That game One is a trip.
I haven't heard of that.
It's like a Contra ripoff, and but it's different. It's kind of like it kind of like goes into what Contra went into later on with the games where it starts to be in 2D and a half. You know, it's got that going for it, where it's not just straightforward 2D platform.
What about that is Disruptor in there in that lot you got?
I've never.
Disruptor's cool. Disruptor's pretty cool.
Never heard of it. No.
It's a first person.
Oh, I remember playing that. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a sci-fi first-person shooter, but it was like one I hadn't seen too many that looked that good, and it has FMV cutscenes.
Oh no, never.
Oh yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
But any other shitty honorable mentions?
Let me see. RBI, Tecmo Bowl. What was the other one? Let me see if I can think of something else. I mean, there's a ton of them, but
Yeah.
I think we hit on some good ones.
You got any Tylord?
I was gonna put this on my list, but I don't want to put it on there because it's actually a good game. Resident Evil 6.
Oh, but
we can go there.
Yeah, the reason why most people don't like it. Most people don't like it because it's too action themed. It seems like a Michael Bay movie. It's not horror enough. That's not why I was disappointed with it. I was disappointed with it because they got rid of my precious tank control. And it controls like a regular game, like any old game, like really good, like a Metal Gear or any other type of third-person shooter. So Leon moves like James Bond, but I really, what I liked about 4 and 5 so much was it was heavy on the action, but it still kept that tank control, and I just love that pacing and that quick turnaround. It just, like, the games were built around that type of control. It just felt so good. And then 6 came out, and I hope they have an option to do that, and it just wasn't there. It just plays like every other game, which is good. Like that's how they all do it now. All Resident Evil, every games are like that now, but I just like that tank control. So I was really disappointed when 6 didn't have it.
You know what it's called, Tylord? Evolution.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to walk and shoot. Man, I'm not a fan of the tank. I don't know.
Like something about that quick turnaround like makes the style of the gameplay like these other games you can't do that quick turnaround. You have to turn the whole camera around. That quick turnaround just feels so satisfying. Like you run past a bunch of guys, you quick turn around, you pop them, pop off a couple of shots, you run away down another corridor, like get them to funnel in, turn around, pick your shots. Like I just love that Resident Evil 4.
This one had another feature then, like another gameplay feature, like the turnaround. You can turn around really quick.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 and 5 had the quick turnaround. It started in Resident Evil 3. You just press down and B or whatever, down and run, and he does a quick turnaround. And then the camera moves with him. I like how the camera stays with the guy. And on all the newer ones, like the camera just is whatever you're pointing at. So if you turn around and run backwards, you just see the guy running towards the camera. I kind of like it. It keeps it kind of like close and personal. When you press backwards, the camera just backs up with you, and you have to turn around to run if you want to run.
It's annoying because you're talking about it like it's something good. It's like something
it is. Yeah, I guess I'm the only one that feels that way.
You don't like tank controls either? PWM?
Come on, no one likes tank controls. But listen, I have something here for you. So, since you're such a huge Resident Evil fan, what about the Dreamcast early versions of Resident Evil? I hear they're better than the PS1.
Oh, what do you mean?
Better than the N64.
Yeah, those are the versions to get the 2, 3, and I don't know. Code Veronica was also on PS2. But 2 and 3, yeah, those are the ones to get 2 and 3
on the Dreamcast. See there, Mario, how I'm dropping knowledge on Resident Evil.
It's not leagues better than the PS2, but those are like the versions they have. The Dreamcast 2 and 3.
I like the Dreamcast. Good system.
Yeah, I had those, but I sold them because they were worth hella money. So I still have 2 and 3 on GameCube and Code Veronica.
Yeah, Once I played Halo and Gears, I was like, I can never play a game where I can't walk and shoot at the same time. It's like, why can't I walk?
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's a tough one to do.
I also, my last, I think, honorable mention. Are you guys familiar with Kane and Lynch? I have Kane and Lynch too.
Yeah,
never played them.
It's a co-op, like shooting game, third-person shooter game. It's called Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. It should be It should be called Dog Shit because the game's like horrible. It was back in the days on the 360. Did you guys ever have GameFly? I had GameFly. And you get your disc, right?
GameFly, where they send you discs?
Yeah.
No, I never did.
I had that, and I got my disc. And if you got a disc and the game sucked, you had to send it back, and that was snail mail. So it would take forever for you to get the next one on your queue.
Yeah.
So that game,
I didn't have that. The closest thing I had to that was like Girls Gone Wild. They send you VHSs and shit of girls. You couldn't send that shit back though.
Did you want to?
Hell no.
But that one, it was one of those where I got it, and I had my friend Daniel. I was like, "Oh man, come over," because we were into like the co-op games, the split screen co-op games. Like, we're gonna have some drinks and play this Kane and Lynch game and have fun. And the game lasts like 2 hours, and then you're done. And it's like a 2-hour game. You're like, what the fuck did we just play? And I think in the beginning you're running around butt naked, like you're running around with no pants with your character.
Yeah, it's like so many games try to copy GTA. That's just like a GTA copycat. That's just like not done as well. You know what I mean?
It wasn't good.
Wasn't it like a heist game? It was like a co-op heist type game.
It's a co-op game.
But GTA does all that and more.
Yeah, this one was garbage.
I remember a game. I never played the game, but I remember getting just fucking. Holy shit, people talk shit about this game. They try to reinvent a series, which was Bionic Commando. It came out on the 360. Yeah. And I remember people talking so much shit about that game, man. So that's a good one right there to fucking bring up.
The lead singer from Faith No More.
Commando.
I remember.
Did it?
Was the voice of the Bionic Commando.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, all right. That was it. But you guys know it's tradition here to play a little trivia game. Is PMM gonna leave? Gonna leave the podcast again?
I'll be out of this bitch right now.
Stay here. We're gonna take a.
I might be able to hear the questions though. I have the earbuds.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break and see is PMM gonna be here after the commercial break, or is he gonna is he gonna say deuces and take off again?
Dun, 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 dun.
Stay tuned.
Hello? Somebody out there? E.T. Video game?
E.T. is the Atari video game cartridge you have to buy separately to play on the Atari video computer system. Your parents hook it up to the TV. It's the video game that lets you help E.T. get home. This is the Atari video computer system. E.T. and other video game cartridges are...
Nobody named E.T. as a disappointing video game. One of their disappointing... Before our time.
If I ever got that, it was secondhand.
It was buried in a desert. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play 10 audio clips from games that are not regarded as being that great. And let's see how many out of 10 you can get right. Who can get more out of 10? And I'm gonna be playing gameplay. So you might hear like it could be there's a clue, maybe an FMV video.
Yeah.
Maybe you might hear like the intro screen, or you're just gonna hear like gameplay of the game. And this is gonna be like
shout it out.
70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. So
70s.
Yeah, that's another clue. There might be some 70s ones in here. Right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First clip.
Go ahead.
And just say, I say got it if you got it, because I can't see you guys.
All right. Okay.
Got it.
I heard
I got it first.
PMM first.
E.T.
That is correct. It is E.T.
He's about to Ludwig Borga my Tatanka.
Uh-oh. Are you running into Ludwig Borga? Could it be?
I'm just surprised I didn't get cheated. I'm surprised you didn't say Steve said that first.
All right, next one.
And a platter full of breakfast delicacies. Several of the stunned lumberjacks were interviewed afterwards, but it is unsure what they said, as their mouths were full.
Is it, I'll try.
All right, what is it?
Is it Simpsons Wrestling?
That is not Simpsons Wrestling. I'm going to play a little more of the clip and see if PMM can get it.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, go ahead, though.
You get one guess. That's it.
Yeah, I already guessed. Yeah.
You got it?
I get a guess?
Yeah. You want to take a wild guess at what it is?
This is a video game?
It's a video game. And these are regarded as not being great video games. This might be the toughest clip.
I don't know, man. I have no clue.
You want to take a guess even though you're not going to get a point, Tylord?
No, I don't know what it is.
It's Sneak.
Oh, I thought you knew.
Sneak.
I thought at first I thought it was that Evil Dead game, but
it's Sneak King for the Xbox 360.
Oh, the Burger King one. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I would never guess that in a million years.
All right.
Never.
PMM is up 1-0. Let's go to the next clip.
Before he dies.
Sneak King.
Honey, why don't you come down and lodge with me Friday night?
The lodge? Those guys are all geeks and dorks.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're geeks and dorks, but they can make babies in less time than it takes you to put on shoes.
That's just the problem. Daddy, I gotta get to my new job.
New job? What happened to the last one?
Oh, all the guys kept hitting on me.
What? Did you hit him back? You should have hit him back. Who the hell were they? No one hits my daughter.
It's okay, Daddy, it's okay. It didn't hurt. Love you. Have a nice day, Daddy-o.
Wait till I get my hands on him. I'll kill him.
What the
You call it, Tyler, or what'd you say?
Grease. I don't know what the fuck.
You guys want to take a week? Anyone want to take a wild
the
guess?
hardest games. I almost feel like this is a game from the Atari, one of those, like...
I'm going to keep playing it.
It's almost one of these games that were, like, had breast in it. Like, it was like a rare... Like a game that was banned and shit.
No guess?
No.
Googling, by the way, either.
So that's Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. On the
man, that should have been something I should have figured out.
That should have been something obvious, like dialogue from that.
That's a 3DO game.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, next clip.
It's not even really a game.
Next clip.
Okay.
Throw something out there.
You got a wild? Want to take a wild guess, Tyler?
I don't know. Is it 3D Bubsy?
You go ahead and say it.
It is. It is Shaq Fu for the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
This shit's too hard, man. This is way too hard.
You might win 1-0. This might be like a soccer game.
I'll be happy with that shit.
Or it might be your Astros versus the Yankees. That whatever game you saw that was like 20 innings long. All right, you guys.
Put Tylord on some damn pedestal.
You guys ready for the next clip?
Good.
Is it Superman 64? Got it? No.
Damn, it is Superman 64.
Oh, heck yeah. Right.
What? So
wow.
All right, so we're tied 1-1. Next clip.
Ah, fuck. A Galaga. No, it's not Galaga.
Not Galaga.
Fuck! I got another guess. Fuck.
Is it?
You said these are bad games, though, right?
Yeah. Is it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
It is Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
Yeah. I'm just using my deductive reasoning.
How the hell did you get that?
All right, I'm out of here. Later.
There's still 3 more.
I'm out. Later.
All right. Next clip.
At the Special Forces Maximum Security Facility, a group of highly dangerous superhuman criminals has escaped the compound and are at large. The list of escaped prisoners is as follows. No Face, Tazia, Jarek, and Trimmer. They apparently are hiding out in an abandoned warehouse on the south side of town. There's something else you should know. The prisoners received help from an outside source.
It has to be Kano.
Okay, I got it.
What is it?
I got it. Mortal Kombat Special Ops.
No,
okay.
It's close, but you didn't get the title right. You want to take a guess?
I don't remember the name of it.
PMM?
I don't feel bad losing at this. I really don't know bad video games. So. It sounds like it's Mortal Kombat. I just don't know which Mortal Kombat it is.
Yeah, we need the subtitles. Huh? That was Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
Oh God! And I was about to say Special Forces too. Fuck! Before you fucking said that, I was like, you know what? Let me just say Special Forces. Oh God!
All right, next one.
And I'm looking at the cover art of Special Forces in my head. I was gonna say that. I'm not good at this listening to sound effects and shit. I don't know.
I kind of recognize that music, so I'll take a guess.
All right, what is it?
Even though I don't think that's that bad of a game, Double Dragon Neon.
It's Double. Oh, I already gave him a clue. It's not that one. So I'll let PMM take it. I'll play a little more of the audio.
Oh, okay.
Double Dragon 3.
So it's Double Dragon 2 Wander of the Dragons.
What the hell? I recognize that tune.
All right. Next, this is the last one. So you can tie it, or you can tie it PMM, or if it's a draw, that's it.
Easy one that both of us can get. Change it up right now. Make it an easy one.
Here goes another one.
He ain't listening.
Nice of the princess to invite us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? I hope she made lots of spaghetti. Luigi, look! It's from Bowser. Dear pesky plumbers, the Koopalings and I have taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. The princess is now a permanent guest at one of my 7 Koopa hotels.
Super Mario Galaxy?
I dare you to find her if you can.
You gotta guess.
I'll take a guess. Is it Hotel Mario?
It is Hotel Mario.
Yeah.
Hotel Mario?
Yeah,
Philips CDI, right? Or
Philips CDI.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got that one. I'm not good at that shit at all.
Man, I can't believe you got that one right. So,
What other game would they have Mario like voiceovers?
so you know what I know you're like coughing over there and losing your voice, but you know the Tatanka streak continues. So. That was a close one. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought PMM was gonna Ludwig Borghi in the beginning.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't care about shit like that. If he wins that, I'm good. It's just one step where you have no chance, where you can't hear the audio.
That's why I was surprised you were pissed off about 90s horror, because I didn't even think you liked 90s horror.
I would have won that for sure. I already know that. Anything to do with horror, you have no knowledge above me. Trust me. So,
but Tylord won last year. The all-time favorite horror movies one.
Yeah, but you have like weird random questions. It's not.
All right. Well, that was a good game though. That was a tight one. That was like a soccer match right there.
I wouldn't call it tight. I got one question right.
Yeah, it was 1-3 though. It wasn't a high-scoring trivia game. But yeah, we're gonna take a commercial break, come back, and wrap it up.
You say you want to be a street fighter. You're no street fighter. Not until you've mastered the 6 world warriors of the Street Fighter 2 handheld game. 100 hand slaps and rolling attacks, fireballs and hurricane kicks are your weapons. Beat 3 in a row. Zangi, Honda, Blanca. Then we'll talk. Street Fighter 2 handheld game. New from Tiger. Batteries not included.
This Tiger Electronics game or Street Fighter 5 on the PS4 vanilla.
Definitely Street Fighter 5. Those are, I can't stand, like, I could see like it was fun entertainment for like poor kids. I think I had one before my grandparents got me a Game Boy.
Yeah, those are the ones I had.
After Game Boy, like those are unplayable after you have like a Game Boy.
I think I had the Contra one. Did you ever have any of those PMM, the Tiger Electronics?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I think I've had a couple of them.
Yep.
I picked up some at the Goodwill in the past like 10 years too. I picked up a few of them and sold them and stuff. Some of them are worth a little bit of money.
They're collector items. Now I had Double Dragon, and I think it was called Racing or Street Racer. And,
yeah, I think I had
and I had Castlevania 2, maybe it was.
I found none of them to be fun though. You know.
Dude, but it's like you said back in the day. Whatever you got, you may do with it. Like you made fun with it.
I'm thinking Game Boy, and especially if you had a Game Gear, I think those like spoiled kids, like because that was so much better.
It's for the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's for the Game Gear. You needed like 16 AA batteries for.
Yeah, but still, even if you just could go plug that in the corner somewhere, like those games look so amazing compared to anything else.
All right, well, that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you PMM let the people know where they can find you.
I don't have nothing going on. I mean, I don't have nothing. There's nothing going on over here. I'm just into cyborg movies.
So I'm gonna put a link.
I love cyborg movies. Check out all my cyborg movie irrelevance. Just love cyborg films.
Yeah.
DVDs, nuts, and popcorn.
DVDs, nuts, and popcorn, baby. That's what we do it. We talk about cyborg films 24/7. I never go to sleep because I'm a cyborg, and I talk about cyborg films all the time. It never stops. Even in fucking October, where I'm supposed to watch horror movies, I watch cyborg films constantly.
And I can attest to that because I'm in a group chat with these guys, and sometimes I'll mute it while I'm working, and then I jump on.
Yeah,
and these guys are still talking about cyborg movies, and
yeah, he is contagious. He got me the cyborg virus.
But I'll put a link to DVDs, nuts, and popcorn in the show notes of this episode. What about you, Tylord?
Oh, I'm not doing much. Just like a crappier version of what he does. I just show my movie and game pickups on YouTube, which will be a lot less frequently now that I'm going to go back to work after heart surgery. But
oh man, work.
Yeah.
That sucks. But yeah, I'll put links to their channels, show notes. For me, retro.
Well, thank you. The 5 people that listen to this shit is gonna fucking unsubscribe to my channel.
There you go. That'll put you. What are you trying to get to? 500 right now, right? You're trying. I
just want to get a fucking what is it? Community page.
All right.
500. I think will get me a community page.
I think he's been at like 421 for like 3 months.
All right, so,
at least.
So after this podcast episode, you'll drop down to like 416 or something. Or 450.
Every time I shout him out, he loses subs too.
I know. Tylord's got like triple the sub count I got. He's killing me.
I've been on there it's the same one I've had for 20 years or 15 years.
Yeah. For me, I'm Retro Tiburon, all those social medias. Yeah, that's pretty much it. RetroTiburon.com to listen to all the episodes. These guys have been on, I think you guys have, this is like your 5th one on here for you guys.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You could listen to the archives.
Yeah.
But
I might have to do a top 10 horror movies of the 2000s.
Oh, yeah. I have some ideas for before Halloweeny time for you guys to come back on.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, that's it. See you guys on the other side.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, guys.
And go Houston Astros. We're up fucking killing the league again. Don't hate, baby. Don't hate.